The Sacramento Kings looked to advance to the second round of the NBA playoffs for the first time since 2004, but it wasn't to be.
Kings fans, those that weren't standing for the final minutes, come to their feet. They will salute their heroes as the Warriors will just count down the final seconds. 10 seconds left in this season for Sacramento. The 38th year of the Kings in California's capital city. It will end in disappointment. A Game 7 opportunity goes in the direction of the Warriors.
Golden State won by a final score of 120-100, due largely in part to 50 points from Steph Curry. That was the most in a Game 7 in NBA history. Our Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli, will be joining us at 9 a.m. to break down Game 7 from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. In NFL draft news, the San Francisco 49ers moved up in the third round to the 87th pick via a trade with the Minnesota Vikings and took safety Jair Brown out of Penn State, helping shore up their secondary. You can read all about the 49ers draft picks right now at SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he.
Bit where they were reenacting the end. Have you seen Dead Poet Society?
No, but I've seen the SNL skit.
Okay, with Pete Davidson?
Yes.
That's one of the craziest crowd pops I've ever seen in my life. That was, and that's kind of how I felt yesterday. I felt like Pete Davidson in that SNL skit. That is a reference one person, maybe three, will get out there. Good morning, everybody. It is a, well, I can't speak for everyone, and I imagine on this show, much like in the listening audience, we are going to have all kinds of different feelings and emotions and outlooks. I imagine those are going to adjust and change and transform over the next few hours, days, weeks, months. I do not have a perspective issue. I am incredibly proud of the year, the team, all of that, but I'm in Painland right now. I am in absolute Painland. Everybody out there has real jobs. I get it. I would absolutely love to be somewhere else right now. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to talk about the game. I don't want to talk.
Southwest is like $59 flight.
I was in work day last night looking at it and going, yeah, that's never going to get approved. And from an incredibly selfish standpoint, obviously there's the Kings fan pain, but then just pulling back the curtain, we adjusted to 4 hours a couple months ago, and now we go from having way too much to talk about to baseball. And
sir,
yes,
you should be excited for that.
A's
are on a 1-game win streak.
Walk-off single, baby.
Yeah.
5-4 win. I saw that. So we got baseball.
Big things happening in Oakland.
As my wife brought up, we could talk soccer. We could talk was funny watching my wife and we went and played spades with our Warrior fan friends who are incredibly nice. They're all just waiting for me to lose it. And we went over there. It was my choice. I said, let's go play cards. So we went over there.
Yesterday?
Yesterday.
Oh,
wow.
After the game. Right.
This is a big step for you.
It was a big step. And we went over there and I was just kind of quiet first. And I was like, all right, look, guys, I'm fine. It's okay. You don't have to. Nobody needs to walk on eggshells. It was a great series. Did it. We got it right out of the way. We had a good time. But they were trying to be helpful and suggest, like, well, you've got hockey playoffs.
Yeah.
But what I started.
Hey, big game 7 tonight, Rangers and Devils.
Huge. And how about those Bruins? My goodness, getting knocked out. Best record ever.
Jason's favorite team out like that.
What occurred to me though too, and again, this is from a radio host standpoint only, is that this is actually worse than normal. Because number one, everybody has been. God, the boss is going to hate me for saying this, but it's just honest. If I was a listener, I might need a couple days of this, and then I don't want any part of basketball talk. I need a break. Number one. Number two. Normally, this time of year, we're getting ready for the lottery,
right?
Okay, and all the obsession with that, mock drafts, all that. Then you get the draft itself. Huge thing, right? Then whoever the savior is that got drafted, we want to see him in Summer League. Those are out there. I mean, listen, number 24 pick, we'll be interested. We'll cover it. We'll do a little bit on that, but it's going to be nothing like it's been the last 16 years. Really, the most exciting thing this summer, probably, and there's no guarantee, is going to be free agency.
Right. And also, not every summer, but maybe every other, sadly, has been a coaching search.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Are they not going to do one of those this year?
I don't think they will.
Every third to fourth.
Also,
year.
let's not. I'm old enough to remember when stranger things have happened. No, I don't think they're firing Mike Brown.
I do not.
I also don't want to assume anything either, because you just don't know.
Sometimes every 3 to 4 years, a general manager change.
Yeah.
But those things are not, thankfully, I would say in that sense, aren't happening. But I understand what you're saying, because, look, I'm not going to equate it to, well, put it this way. Some people grieve in different ways.
Yes.
And honestly, it's kind of fascinating, not in a morbid way, but if we go towards a passing of someone, I have seen people move on shockingly fast that I'm uncomfortable with.
Sure.
And others okay, I mean, it at your pace, at your time, totally get it. And I think that you're right. There's going to be there's going to be people that are like, I'm happy with the year, and you should be.
Yes.
But also some people need some time, and I totally understand. There's healing. And when you lose, I told you this the other day, Dave, that even if this ended with a parade, part of me would have been sad.
Sure.
I'm telling you, because I've enjoyed this team that much, where 99.9% of the people will be like, this is the greatest. And it would have been. I'm like, selfishly, I just want to see him play. I'm going to miss that. I could have seen 13, 17, 21 games of this series and enjoyed it. It's over.
It is over. Oh boy, is it over.
Yeah.
Boy, was it over. And that's part of what we're going to tell. We got a lot to get to today, tomorrow. This week is, what better way to put it? It is basically funeral week. This is where we do the postmortem on the team. And yes,
is today the wake?
I would say, yeah, I think today is kind of the wake. Where we've got finger sandwiches and cookies and those things.
Here we fingers taking a completely different turn.
Exactly. We've got the pitcher of iced tea and the pitcher of water, at the front. And
where's the King's picture? The team picture.
little memorial beam. And there's going to be, it is okay to be incredibly devastated about what happened and also be incredibly happy about the overall. What do we always say on the show? There's on the ground level and there's 50,000 feet. We're going to be comparing and contrasting things. Obviously, we're going to be going through history. As I said yesterday, for those of you under 30, no, the pain doesn't go away. For those of you over 30, well, hello, darkness, my old friend. We know this. And as the second half was building yesterday, I don't know how everybody dealt with it. I was at home. I was alone outside. I had separated from the family at one point and just gone. And it was almost like an out of body experience. I'm watching it, and I was in this strangely, I don't want to get too crazy here, but I almost felt like I was in a place when people have a terminal illness and they just accept it. Like I felt like I was at peace and accepting the inevitable, and I was just watching it unfold. And I don't know how that's going to be the day I die, but I found myself wondering, is this what dying's like? You look and you just look around, you start thinking of the good things, you start wondering what could have been done differently, and you understand that there's literally nothing you can do. You're powerless, and you almost smile at the Shakespearean situation that's unfolding in front of you. Like, it just felt right. This is what it felt. When I say right, I don't mean good. It felt right as in, well, of course this is happening.
My experience yesterday watching the game was completely that.
Yeah.
It felt right because I didn't get to see the first half. I only got to see the second half.
Really?
At an Applebee's in Yuba City with livestock outside of the restaurant. I'm like, this is about as Kingsley as a thing.
Sounds terrible.
What did you have in
So
the
did the
first half?
second half.
What?
At a karate tournament I was officiating at. So we wrap up and we like, okay, we know Applebee's has TVs. Let's get there.
Oh my God.
But again, doesn't that just feel right given everything?
Yes.
The perfect setting.
I mean, you win.
Thank you.
Jason was in a suit doing pregame and mid-game and post-game.
Oh, yeah, I'm also in slacks and a tie, shirt and tie, which is even better.
I was in a ripped-up 916 man shirt with no pants, just watching. I mean, of course, underwear on, but All right, well, we got a whole day ahead of you. Listen, sit back, buckle in. We're all in this together. That's what we can say. And obviously, we're going to go back and post-mortem this whole thing. We'll recap. As you said very eloquently last week, Jason, we didn't even get a chance to talk to y'all about Game 6. It's like it never happened.
One of the greatest moments this team has ever had. Honestly.
Ever had.
We got to at least review 3 in the key, right?
Yeah.
It's on there.
We can do that as well. So we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about them right after this on Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy.
Purdy going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Spring officially here. And with the long, cold, and rainy winter behind us, I'm sure you're counting the days until summer. But don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioner is working efficiently and, most importantly, safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from American Energy Heat and Air. There's nothing worse than your air conditioner going out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today and make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call, 916-520-9990, or schedule your appointment online at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Better Business Bureau, A+ rating. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. Easy, convenient payment options, same as cash, low monthly payments through financing partners. What do you need? 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
$68. Is that right? 68. No, 64 to 42 was your second half. By the way, it didn't occur to me, but thank you to the texters for catching it. Is it Jay Mars' fault? He didn't watch the first half. Kings were up 2. Watches the second half.
That scored 64 to 42. Hope that was a great karate tournament.
Yeah. Hope you had a nice Was it Arnold?
Yes.
Jason, you were there. You were on the air. You were on. It's so funny too, because what people don't and would never know if we didn't bring it up is that there was this whole machination over the weekend where the way it was set up is if the Kings won, you were going to do the post game. Chris Watkins is going to be doing his post game, and then I was going to do a 2-hour show after both of you guys to celebrate the win. And so we're doing all these things, and I'm like trying my best to like I would not let anybody say if the Kings win. It was if the Warriors lose. You and I are on the phone, and it's like, well, if a certain team loses, and we're trying to work everything out. And I've never wanted to work more in my life. I've never wanted to work 2 hours on a Sunday more in my life. You worked the pre-half post and everything in between. And judging by the numbers I looked at on YouTube, that is by far, I think that is 7 times more viewership alone than any remote broadcast we've ever had. I don't know if you've taken a look or not, but everybody was on that thing,
on that pre-show.
Yeah, they really were. And I went back and looked a little bit at it. It really festive is the word I think of.
Yeah, and I would say the part of the, I don't even know if say issue. I wouldn't even say that. It was different than game one. Game one was like an all day long party.
Yeah.
Yesterday, it was so early. I mean, obviously tip time, 12:30. So we started that pre-show at 9, and I was like, oh, this is going to be kind of crazy out here. And I get out there, and it's not even crazy at all. I mean, there were people, but it's nowhere near. Like, I had to walk through a bunch of people just to get to the location the last time.
Right.
This time there were, dozens, let's say, of just people roaming around. And then as like the minutes and the 10 minutes at a time, you're like, wow, okay, there's a lot more people here. Then closer to 11 when we signed off, it was feeling good and festive and chants and different things like that. But inside was fabulous. I mean, until it wasn't, right? I mean, the open of when they took the court was definitely goosebump worthy. The fans were ready to go. It's like they showed the tunnel cam, and it erupted. And then they took the court. Great energy, great passion. Fans were totally into it. And then some of the stuff we've talked to over the years, the legend of Game 7 in 2002, where the Kings missed, so many shots and so many free throws. The building got tight. I remember that feeling, and it really started to happen again.
Yep.
And it was not over, but and then there was like a rebirth. Like it was almost like, all right, this is not going anybody's way. Nobody's enjoying this. Oh no, more missed shots or Steph's making everything without looking. And then it was almost like maybe 12 to 14 points. I don't know, 7-8 minutes. Like it would take one of those runs, which they're capable of. And then it was almost like, all right, I think everybody tried to encourage it to happen.
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen. And then I think one of the better moments, as much pain as all of it was the fans that did stick around, that really tried to honor the season, the series.
Yeah.
But some left. And again, I'm not faulting. I mean, that's part of me is like, I'd like to leave. I don't want to see Steph pretend to light the beam and Draymond, walk off the court and kind of, bait the, it's like, no, I don't want to see that, but you have to. And so, I mean, I can only imagine if the second half was more like the first half, because it was so even, so well played. And that to me is the most disappointing, just how much they didn't have a chance to win.
I didn't see the Steph try to light the beam thing.
Yeah.
That happened?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you do, like on the court or?
No, it was like, I mean, it was, I don't know at what point, but it was late and they'd made enough kill shots and he just kind of went over there and just like did it. It was just over maybe closer to where you would sit sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Like past Vivek and down, maybe opposite of their bench, but a little extended about the arc, and was just kind of like a pretend to light the beam. And
what did Draymond do?
Just walked off the court and just kind of,
bring it. Yeah.
I mean, is that motivating you or agitating you? All of the above.
I mean, you know what? You don't want that to happen. Win the game.
Yeah,
I'm very. It interests me a lot what you're saying about the feeling, because that's what I was wondering, is the feeling in the building. I could hear the place was a library of,
at moments
in the third and the fourth. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I would have been the same way. Just almost, I feel like there were a lot of people feeling like I was like you're sitting there going, this is going to happen again, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to happen again.
And there weren't signs of it in the first half.
No.
At all.
No.
And, I mean, I allowed myself to think of this because I know we barely alluded to Game 6. But I had thought, God, Game 6 was so wonderful. If the Kings could somehow recreate that, not in the exact way they played, but just the circumstance of having what the Warriors had yesterday, that kind of lead, a no doubt 4 minutes of light the beam chance or Sacramento chance or we want to beat LA chance.
Yep.
I went there in my mind before the game. I'm like, that could be incredible.
Yes.
And then as the game's going on, I'm like, oh man, I'm getting the nerves, the anticipation, the anxiety, the excitement of, all the emotions possible. It's like, wow, intense first quarter.
Yeah.
Oh, intense second quarter. No, the largest lead is 6. Lead change is tied. Like, who's the better team? I can't figure this out. And then the third quarter happened. And even the third quarter with 95 offensive rebounds by the Warriors, unofficially, with 10 seconds left in the quarter, maybe less, it's a 6-point game. And I'm thinking, this has been a brutal quarter, but the Kings are right there.
Yeah.
And Clay hits the 3 and fouled, and it's 10 going into the fourth. And I was like, all right, it's a little more difficult, but it's doable. But I already felt a little bit differently there. It was a bad quarter. And then the fourth was just awful.
You could have done light the beam and beat LA alternating. Like light the beam, beat LA. Yeah.
Talk Draymond if you want.
Draymond.
Yeah, a lot of things were in play. But the Warriors had different thoughts. Steph had different thoughts. He was incredible. I mean, the other part of that, and I don't know how much I can't say I enjoyed it because this is a different feeling, Dave, than when I was watching, and it's clearly a different circumstance when I watched Klay Thompson score 37 in person in the quarter. I was actually like, go. Like, I'm seeing something special, and I'm enjoying it. I mean, in a weird way I was. I'm like, it's a regular season game. Go get 60 in the quarter. It was like, I'm watching one of the most amazing things. I also was watching one of the most amazing things yesterday, but I was not rooting. I was not going, hey, Steph, get 60. That was painful to watch what he was doing.
I think Kevon Looney just got another offensive rebound.
Probably.
He also got fouled on an and one. Jeez.
I felt that way twice this year, yesterday and against the Knicks. The offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there, and I want to punch every player on the team.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on here? And by the way, it didn't help either, and this is no credit from Looney. It's just, you'll know what I mean. Like, how about like every random bounce going at Kevin Looney too? Mm-hmm. Like, what are the odds of that happening?
Right.
Anyways, all right. Well, we're going to take a tiny respite from this and talk about the second round. It's officially set, and there's a statistic that has never happened before in the history of the NBA that's pretty cool. We'll talk to you about it next.
It's Cattles and Rami.
I'm going with one of the ones that gets on my nerves is this guy plays through the whistle. Plays through the whistle. No, he doesn't. Simone.
He's got great football IQ,
That's
ladies and gentlemen.
All right. I'm next. He's a hard hat guy. Yeah.
Yep.
He puts his hard hat on and he goes to work, Rami.
Lunch pail guy. Yeah, I had hard hat and lunch pail.
Yeah.
First on my draft board.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Monday. It's the start of May, and we're out the door to a cool start. It's going to stay cooler than average today as well. Look for sunshine and clouds mixing in. Today is a dry day with highs in the mid-60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
A nice warm shower is not so nice if it doesn't drain like it should. Well, let's fix that right now. Get a sewer inspection, including mainline drain cabling and video analysis, just $97. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the new Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through June, purchase through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Beacon, always building.
The folks at M&S Auto know that inflation is tough on everybody. If you need an excellent, gently used car or truck, M&S has hundreds of vehicles on the lot on El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. M&S customers get great deals and they save thousands. Get a great deal now on super clean 4x4s, including Tacomas, Silverados, and Jeeps, and muscle cars, Challengers, Teslas, Mustangs, and even the occasional McLaren. M&S Auto, msautogroup.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com. Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A,
Chris Young,
Brett Eldridge,
and so many more.
plus a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort, Hanley's Western Wear, and Quick Hack Car Wash.
Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers. Imagine if every time you bought something, you could get a second one for 30% off. Buy one car, get the second one for 30% off.
Buy one TV, get the second one at 30% off. Buy a new house and get the second one at 30% off.
At Bell Brothers, that's exactly what we're offering this spring on windows and doors. When you buy one brand new energy-efficient window for your home, you'll get the second one at 30% off.
A minimum purchase is required, but the discount applies to every second window you buy. For example, if you buy 5 windows, you'll get 5 windows at 30% off.
The same is true for doors. Buy one, get one for 30% off. And for doors, the minimum is just 2.
So call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
Good morning with your Sactown Sports Headlines. I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings looked to advance to the second round of the NBA playoffs for the first time since 2004, but it wasn't to be.
Kings fans, those that weren't standing for the final minutes, come to their feet. They will salute their heroes as the Warriors will just count down the final seconds. 10 seconds left in this season for Sacramento. The 38th year of the Kings in California's capital city. It will end in disappointment. A Game 7 opportunity goes in the direction of the Warriors.
Golden State won by a final score of 120-100, due largely in part to 50 points from Steph Curry. That was the most in a Game 7 in NBA history. Our Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli, will be joining us at 9 a.m. to break down Game 7 from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. In NFL draft news, the San Francisco 49ers moved up in the third round to the 87th pick via a trade with the Minnesota Vikings and took safety Jair Brown out of Penn State, helping shore up their secondary. You can read all about the 49ers draft picks right now at SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
Welcome back. 1-800-920-1140. 916-339-1140 is your text line. Hello to almost everybody in the YouTube chat. And thanks for being with us. I was actually expecting smaller numbers, if I'm going to be honest. I thought maybe people would not want to recap this, but we're all in it together. And the second round is officially set. It does not include our Sacramento Kings, but it does include something that has never happened before. And this is actually a really cool stat. All seeds are represented in the second round.
There's 8 left, and they're all represented.
And it has to go exactly one way. There are 8 teams remaining in the playoffs, and there's a 1 seed, 2 seed, a 3 seed, a 4 seed, a 5, 6, 7, and 8 seed. That probably will never happen again.
Yeah, probably.
You're going to have upsets. You're going to have 8-over-1s. You're going to have this. You're going to have that. That's never going to happen, man. That's pretty crazy in itself.
But. Yeah. I mean, in credit to those lower seeded teams, like an 8, 7, and 6, kind of that range to be still alive, but to not have 2 1s or 2 2s, those kind of things, that favorites. In this case, the Kings were a 3 seed. They didn't get through. It's just amazing to have 1 through 8 like that.
And we're set. The Nuggets played the Suns in game 1 and just worked them.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, I didn't expect that. And you know, I'm not in a place yet necessarily where, well, no, I think I am in a place now. I don't care about any of the East teams. I can't root for the Warriors. I sure can't root for the Lakers. How the hell could I root for the Suns? I think the Nuggets are my team now. Mike Malone.
Yep. They haven't won one.
I love Jokic. They haven't won one. They certainly, and I love the fact I do root for a team that has been disrespected, and I do feel, I don't know if it's disrespect or just I don't think people necessarily take the Nuggets seriously on a national scale.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're cute. Yeah, they're the 1 seed, but just wait until Phoenix gets away. Just wait till, and who knows, and Phoenix could still come back and win. But,
sure.
Boy, that was a shellacking.
Yeah, game 1 was a statement, and it you know, as far as that goes, it looked like a depth issue. Certainly, Jokic was phenomenal. That home court, it has proven to be tough for people to win there. Phoenix is capable. Booker and Durant were fine, but I really want to see how that series develops, because game 1 looked like a mismatch, but we'll see as it goes along.
Kevin Durant wasn't surprised.
The Nuggets surprised? Am I surprised about the Nuggets? Hell no, they're number 1 seed for a reason. They got a 2-time MVP. They got a deep team. No, I'm not surprised. They can go off and win games. So we got our work cut out for us. We're looking forward to game 2, though.
Yeah, and that's how he has to think.
Absolutely.
The Phoenix Suns are very capable of beating the Denver Nuggets, or I think any other team in the NBA. But that night, and by the way, you know, not for nothing, this isn't why the Nuggets won, but, you know, woof. It's a great home court advantage.
For sure.
You know, you're playing that high, that elevation. That's a real thing, especially at the end. The Knicks were able to stay with the Miami Heat, but Miami Heat win 108-101.
Miami's amazing.
Aren't they?
Yeah. They had to go through 2 play-in games. Then they beat Milwaukee, and here they are getting home court away from the Knicks. That was impressive.
The big sub-story out of that, obviously, Heat going up 1-0 and grabbing home court advantage. That is the story, but Jimmy Butler going down. The Miami Heat are amazing, but I just can't see them doing anything without Jimmy Butler. Eric Spoelstra talked about that injury.
You know, you just don't know, you know, with ankle sprains. I don't even know if we'll know more by tomorrow. You know, we'll just have to see. It'll be a waiting game, you know, but he did not want to come out of the game. You know, so we left him in there.
Yeah, so that's a big deal. That could be a big deal. And whether you get the feeling he's going to play in game 2. It's just a matter of how effective he is. But here we go. Heat 3 wins away from the Eastern Conference Finals.
Incredible job that organization continually they're capable of doing. I mean, last year they were the 1 seed. This year they go through the play-in, and to get to where they are, just amazing.
Yeah. Also, Joel Embiid. Yeah.
Even with all that time off.
Yeah. Listed as doubtful, or should be, according to Doc Rivers, for game 1. And what are you going to do there? It's not impossible to say that the Sixers could beat Boston. Weird things have happened. Atlanta went into Boston and beat them in a game, but you got to think the Celtics smell blood. I also have a feeling that the Hawks scared Boston enough to win. Sometimes you see that where you wake up and you go, okay. And even though their second round opponent is a tougher opponent, that doesn't necessarily mean the series is going to be tougher. And if Joel Embiid isn't in, the Sixers stand little to no chance of beating Boston.
Right.
Although, I also remember before, I was thinking about, speaking of the Heat, like before the playoffs started, but we had the seeding and everything figured out, the matchups. It was like the Heat have nothing for the Bucks.
Right. I thought that would be a quick series, and it was just the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got your matchup set. And then you have the Lakers and Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I allowed myself also to think if the Kings can win, I actually think they would have done well against the Lakers. It's irrelevant now. It doesn't even matter. It'd be impossible to prove. I did like that matchup for them. I had someone like, who do you want, Kings or Warriors? I mean, Lakers or Warriors? I'm like, I just didn't even answer. I'm like, they both can't lose, can they?
I agree with, yeah, no, I have, listen, if you put a gun to my head and I had to choose, I'm going to choose the Warriors to beat the Lakers just because.
Well, I'm not going to put a gun to your head.
Okay, thank you, because then I don't care. I have to separate the fans from the team. Like, Draymond Green bothers me a lot. Steph Curry does some annoying things, but I also, and we'll get into this later, the thoughts on Steph Curry and the rest of that team, but the Lakers, I mean, come on, it's the Lakers. Screw them. But this is what the NBA, and this is not me whining about yesterday's game like there was some sort of conspiracy at all. I'm just simply saying the NBA wanted this matchup. They wanted LeBron James versus Steph Curry. As fun as the Beam team is, and blah, 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 I guarantee you in the halls of the executive branches of New York, they've got Miami, they've got Boston, they got Philadelphia, they've got New York, they've got Los Angeles, they've got San Francisco, they've got Denver, not Phoenix. But and it's not just San Francisco, Los Angeles, and the Battle of California. It's Steph Curry versus LeBron James.
But this time, first time Lakers Warriors since I think early 90s in the playoffs. So,
and it's not like LeBron James is unfamiliar with playing the Warriors in the playoffs.
Right.
This just happens to be a situation where it's not in the finals.
Correct.
And we're going to have to break down that series at some point too, because I think that is actually that's a fascinating series. And the Lakers are actually kind of a fascinating team when you consider where they came from, the changes they made at the trade deadline when LeBron James was out, when he was injured. Take away the Laker hate aside, this team's got a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence right now. I don't have an issue thinking of them coming out of the West. I could absolutely see them coming out of the West. And we're going to have a broader conversation about seeding and the regular season. Because really, the regular season, is this kind of proving the point that the regular season kind of matters, but not as much. We'll get into that more. We'll take a break. When we come back to yesterday's game and really the series as a whole. What were some of the big difference makers throughout the series in wins and losses, and what didn't happen yesterday? We're back in 3 minutes after this.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Jason Ross here to tell you about my friends at ACR Solar and ACR Home Services. Lots of different things. It's like a one-stop shop to help you out for different things you might need at your home. And for us, as longtime homeowners in our house, nearly 20 years there, we needed a brand new roof. It's a task that never had to undertake. My wife had, and I hadn't. I'd seen homes in the neighborhood go through that process. So we talked to a couple different roofing companies, and so glad that we were informed about ACR Solar. And when we got involved, met with John, the owner, Joe, the roofing expert, and just knew that this was the right partnership for us. And so then when we got on the schedule and got everything lined up, it was amazing how quick the job was done, how well it was done. And then for us, where we are now with it, the peace of mind we have with a roof over our head that's going to keep us safe and secure when all the elements that we have here in Northern California, but also the curb appeal. It just looks better. I'm sure our home value has increased. All the things you want as a homeowner, and trust in a company and belief in a company that they can help you with anything you might need around your home. And that's where we are with ACR Solar and Home Services. If you're in need of anything, certainly solar, pool, solar, roofing, whatever it might be, check out their wide variety of different things they can help you out with throughout your home. Go to acrsolar.com.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need, indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign, and we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or T-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, the A's have a great story in pitcher Mason Miller, diagnosed with juvenile diabetes in 2018. He got bigger and stronger, and by the time he made his big league debut on the last homestand against the Cubs, after only 28 2/3 innings in the minor leagues, he threw 15 pitches at 100 miles an hour or faster, topping out at 102.5. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
You good?
I'm good.
You're fighting your mic.
Yeah, it feels like it's in a different something about it that's different
position.
Yeah. So I'm just tweaking.
Welcome back. 1-800-920-1140. Big differences between the Kings winning and losing in this series. You know, we talked about it Friday. What if the Kings were to go in and get a big win at Chase Center?
Yeah.
Where the Warriors have been 35-8. Who would have thought in this series that the Warriors, who are one of the worst road teams in the NBA, would get not one but two wins at Golden One Center? We said before the series started that both teams were probably going to get road wins in this series at some point. That was a good possibility with how well the Kings do on the road. The Warriors would obviously have to get a road win. They got two.
Yeah, it was the last three games were road wins.
Boom, boom, boom. And there were huge, obviously beyond the final score, there were huge differences in the Kings' wins and losses. And I don't know if anything came down more to rebounding. the rebounding was the whole story yesterday. And by the way, Jason, when you look at, again, this is box score watching here. You look at the box score here. Well, the Warriors had 55 rebounds. The Kings had 49. I mean, yeah, they got them. But then you look at the offensive rebounds and you go, 18 to 14. And then you just have to look at Kevon Looney.
Right.
10 offensive rebounds. And I don't know why. Why did Kevon Looney have 10 offensive rebounds in Game 7 and not in Game 6?
Yeah. Well, my best answer, without knowing truly why, is I think the Kings surprised the Warriors with some personnel changes in Game 6.
Sure.
They went smaller. I think Coach Kerr's reaction when Sabonis was either in foul trouble or fouled out, they were playing Trey Lyles and 4 smalls, and they took out Looney. Yeah. That was their counter. Yesterday, Sabonis played more, so Looney played more, but also I don't think they reacted as quickly as when the Kings went smaller. And I think they played smaller in the first half as opposed to that much in the second half. But the rebounding for the totality of the series, I think both Mike Brown and Steve Kerr, before it even started, talked about rebounding in the series. And when the Kings were better on the glass, they seemed to win. When the Warriors were the better team on the glass, they seemed to win. I think it was turnovers were a factor in the series, shooting maybe, but rebounding. I mean, it was it. And I don't know what the final numbers of, Steph scores 50, which is incredible. But how many did he get off of those rebounds? And if you go, it was only about 8 or 10. Well, 8 or 10 is a big deal. And Dave, the one stat that blew me away during the game, Kings called timeout. I don't know, 4 minutes left or so in the third quarter, excuse me.
Yeah.
13 offensive rebounds is really good for a game.
Yes.
The Warriors had 13 offensive rebounds in 7.5 minutes of the third quarter.
Yep.
That's absurd. That just can't happen.
I'm going to ask a question throughout the day to you guys. It's an overarching question. It's a borderline irresponsible question, but it's a question that a lot of Kings fans are having, and I think it's a fair question. Did the Kings choke in the second half? Was that a choke? I know we don't like using the word.
I'm going to go with no.
Okay.
No, I won't go choke either.
Yeah.
But I want you to, and we can get into this more later, but what would be your 1 to 2 to 3 line case
for it to not be?
Well, let me give you some thought, just a couple of quick thoughts here. In Game 7 of 2002, the Sacramento Kings went 2 of 20 from beyond the arc and 16 of 30 from the free throw line. Yesterday, the Sacramento Kings went 12 of 47 from the arc, and they went 16 of 27. Now, granted, the Warriors also missed 11. That was very weird.
Would they have choked?
Kings missed 11 free throws. In the third quarter, 13 offensive rebounds, and a lot of that was with the NBA's rebounding champion on the floor. The Kings shot 37.5% from the field. The Kings were outscored at home 64 to 42 in the second half after having a 1-point lead and then a 2-point lead. They won each of the first and second quarters by 2. So the attorney here would say, if they're on trial, the attorney here would say, you just got blown out in the second half more than any other half you have in this series. You were at home in front of your fans. 13 offensive rebounds in the third quarter. Does that go to effort, heart, hustle? Were the lights just too big? That would be the argument. So give me the argument back.
I would just say, so what happened you go to halftime and then they freak out? Like, to say the lights are too big, they weren't in the first half.
But the first half wasn't the second half of a Game 7.
Also, they have shown these poor 3-point shooting numbers in all their losses. I think except for Game 5. Game 5 is like the outlier where they actually – no, I'm sorry, Game 4. Game 4 is the outlier where they played well.
Yes.
But other than that, in the other
Game 6 was better. I'm talking about
just losses here.
Oh, though. Okay.
In losses, again, outside of Game 4, the Kings it was a brick fest, from the outside.
Yeah.
So that wasn't necessarily a Game 7 thing. Had the Kings shot the 3 ball well, 1 through 6, even in losses, okay, I'll buy that. But in losses, they shot the 3 ball terribly. I mean, we're talking 21%, 22%.
Well, I would also push back too, by the way, on the rebounding, where, I mean, obviously I'm not saying it wasn't a problem. It was a drastic problem. But Looney had 3 games in a 7-game series where he had 20 or more offensive rebounds. So he clearly was a problem.
Yes.
So to say, I mean, I guess if there's a choke that is that scheme, is that one person's performing, I think it's fair to question Sabonis's not even effort, because I don't look at him going, that's an effort thing.
Sure.
But I go, strategy. I don't know. Like, okay, at some point, Dave, we're playing and you just keep getting, I've got to do something different to you to keep you off the glass. And either the team scheme-wise or Sabonis individually failed to do that yesterday.
I think they found kind of the secret sauce in Game 6 and in the first half of Game 7, which was play small ball with Lyles as your 5. And I think Mike Brown was definitely going to let his A guys write it out there in the second half. I understand that from a coaching philosophy.
Sure.
But I felt the Kings, when they went Lyles in that small ball lineup, dare I say the Kings death lineup. Mm-hmm. They outplayed the Warriors. It really spread the floor, and it took away everything the Warriors had been doing from a defensive scheme standpoint. That was my only big, ooh.
Domantas Sabonis is going to take a lot of crap today and for the next few days, and some of that's rightful. Here's an interesting Domantas Sabonis number for you. In Game 7 yesterday, Domantas Sabonis led the team in scoring, led the team in assists, was second on the team in rebounds by 1, had the best shooting percentage on the team, took the second most shots to get that shooting percentage, led the team in blocks, had 1 turnover. So I guess the thing is, and you can't look at it in a vacuum, but if Domantas Sabonis wasn't great yesterday, how bad was the rest of the team? Because Domantas Sabonis,
I don't think this is a blame game on any one player.
Right. I agree with you. But wow, the Sabonis slander out there right now.
But you're always going to find people that latch onto something, man. And it's an emotional reaction when you don't see what you want to see.
Yeah, and if we're all talking about, everybody wants to know why or how. How did this happen? And if you look at it, I'll take 2 reference points. If we're looking at the offensive rebounds by a team, and Looney specifically, and you have the best rebounder in the league, it's going to point to him. Right or wrong, it's going to point to him.
Absolutely.
Another where I would point, right or wrong, I think without a doubt, we would all say on the roster, the best defender on the team is Davion Mitchell.
Yep.
I think it's fair to question when the only game his best game, and he goes for 50, that Davion plays 8 minutes. And I don't even know how many he played on Curry. I think he was in when Curry was out quite a bit. I think that's fair to question. Now, Game 6 was different. I think they did the same strategy, and it kind of worked. But I have a hard time with that one personally going, Steph went for 50. A lot of it is on Terrence Davis and De'Aaron and Kevin Huerter and other people and Malik Monk, where he's called off night for a reason. He is no doubt the best perimeter defender on the team, and I don't think he spent much time on him.
There was a player on the team, Jason and Jay, and by the way, I didn't mean to roll over that. I think that's the number one question out of yesterday that we will get to is about Davion Mitchell. There's a player on the team that had 36 minutes in Game 1, 34 in Game 2, 34 in Game 3, 31 in Game 4, 33 in Game 5, and combined for 29 minutes in Game 6 and 7. What was going on with Harrison Barnes? 29 minutes combined.
You've heard the narrative for years, right? In those big games, no HB.
They didn't even play him. Him and Mitchell. What was Mitchell the last 2 games? I think he's an interesting case study to check too, because there was something that there was that big talking point, like the analytics team said this is the group. They stopped playing Davion and they stopped playing Harrison Barnes in Game 6 and Game 7. Game 6 gave him great results. Game 7 did not.
We got to take a break here. These are Davion's minutes: 22, 28, 18, 28, 24, 11 and 8. He played 28 and 22 minutes in their first 2 wins. And then 18, 28, 24, 11, and 8.
I thought the relying on Terrence Davis those last 2 games was an interesting call.
We're going to have a lot of questions about a lot of calls. And you know what? That's absolutely fine. We'll take a break. When we come back, Steph Curry. That's the tease. Steph Curry right after this.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Thinking that's going to get down for a hit. Around largest scorer is Tony Kemp, and the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch, and the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Cordell.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Monday. It's the start of May, and we're out the door to a cool start. It's going to stay cooler than average today as well. Look for sunshine and clouds mixing in. Today is a dry day with highs in the mid-60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, capital, and everything in between. Learn about all the benefits of being a business banking member at valleystrong.com.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Want to talk to you about my friends at American Energy. We can all agree on one thing. Your time is important. That's why at American Energy Heat and Air, they make shopping for a new air conditioner easier with their new online quoting tool. Now, all you have to do, go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote today. It'll help you determine what system you'll need to get and provide those great pricing options they have, the best pricing options, all from the comforts of your home without having somebody coming to your house. Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your specific needs are, call 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A,
Chris Young,
Brett Eldridge,
I wanna be that song.
and so many more.
plus a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort, Hanley's Western Wear, and Quick Pack Car Wash.
KHTK AM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Sacramento Kings.
It's Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
The only place in the morning
Good morning with your Sactown Sports headlines. I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings looked to advance to the second round of the NBA playoffs for the first time since 2004, but it wasn't to be.
Kings fans, those that weren't standing for the final minutes, come to their feet. They will salute their heroes as the Warriors will just count down the final seconds. 10 seconds left in this season for Sacramento. The 38th year of the Kings in California's capital city. It will end in disappointment. A Game 7 opportunity goes in the direction of the Warriors.
Golden State won by a final score of 120-100, due largely in part to 50 points from Steph Curry. That was the most in a Game 7 in NBA history. Our Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli, will be joining us at 9 a.m. to break down Game 7 from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. In NFL draft news, the San Francisco 49ers moved up in the third round to the 87th pick via a trade with the Minnesota Vikings and took safety Jair Brown out of Penn State, helping shore up their secondary. You can read all about the 49ers draft picks right now at SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Lost a lot of respect for Sabonis. You don't shake guys' hands after you lose. I don't respect that. I once left the court when we lost in Game 7 of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I went to my locker room and I sat down and I said, this don't feel right. And I walked back out on the court and I showed everybody love. You lost. Deal with it. Pay your respect. That was whack to me. That's whack. But I wouldn't necessarily even say lost respect. But I don't respect that, and that's whack.
I was telling you were playing that to me during the. I didn't see that. I believe Draymond. I don't think he has any reason to not be telling the truth. It doesn't feel like Sabonis to me, but I would love to hear his response to that.
I would too. It doesn't, and I think Warrior fans and obviously at least one of the Warriors had some issues with Sabonis in the series, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd like to know the answer to that because first off, you should shake hands.
Yeah,
I agree with that. And you saw, speaking of Draymond, you saw Draymond and De'Aaron Fox with a long handshake, hug. You know, I'd love to know what Draymond was telling him. My guess is something like, you'll be back.
Yeah.
Like, you guys pushed us as hard as we could get pushed.
Him and Curry as well.
Yes. You're a superstar.
I'll say Barnes and Draymond, too. And
I saw
Draymond
that
was
too.
in Barnes' ear for quite some time.
And you wonder, was it that next time maybe invite me to your wedding? Or was it, hey, man, let's put all this aside. You know, I have nothing but love for you.
Also, next time invite me to your wedding.
Right. I have a feeling, I could be wrong. If I had to guess, I would say it's more of the latter. I wouldn't put it past Draymond, but I have to think that conversation with Barnes was far, you know, it's a lot like you see it all the time in fights. You know, they talk all this garbage leading up. They're selling pay-per-views and all that. Then they're going at it, trying to beat the hell out of each other. And then at the end, you know, the two fighters that hated each other for months are magically, you know, kissing and hugging and best friends and all that. And that's just part of competition. And that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. Some people get really, really upset when, you know, and I didn't really see anyone smiling after the game on the court, but, you know, you're high-fiving and they want you to leave the court and be angry and throw chairs.
Fans take it worse generally than the players do. I mean, it's not like the players don't want to win. Don't get me wrong. But, I'm really curious about that with Sabonis.
I am too, because, again, that doesn't seem – Sabonis-y.
Yeah. Did he get lost in the shuffle or did he legitimately just go? I did not see it. I don't know what he did.
And then again, maybe Sabonis was like, yeah, dude, he crushed my chest.
Could be.
And he's dirty and I don't appreciate it and I don't want to talk to him. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to put words in the guy's.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Just, again, seems a little weird. Steph Curry. I started thinking about it last week, Jason. We started talking about it. I'm going to say it again. Steph Curry is the greatest player to ever play the game, considering the tools he has. And I always want to reset that take to make sure it's not taken out of context.
They're going to put it in the record book like that. Asterisk, considering all the tools.
It's no disrespect to LeBron. It's no disrespect to Michael, to Kobe, to Wilt, to Kareem, to all that. I'm saying that Steph Curry was not born with exceptional size and strength. And yes, all those other guys had to work on it, work on their strength. I'm taking nothing away from their effort, but Steph Curry can't work his way 5 inches taller. He can't. There's only so much muscle he can put on until he's slowed down. But I'm watching Steph Curry yesterday. I've watched basketball my whole life. I don't know that I've ever seen somebody on pure skill alone do the things he's done.
Yeah.
He, to me, is the greatest point guard to ever play the game. He's better than Chris Paul. He's better than Magic Johnson.
And I don't even think of him as a true point guard in that sense.
You're right.
That classic one. But his handles have always been underappreciated. I think when you jaws drop is his ability to shoot threes. But his 2-pointers in this series, the creativity, the turning and falling and spinning and scooping from 12, like, he's amazing. He is absolutely amazing. And there's a lot of quotes post-game about what stuff he told the team, like basically, trust me, if we're all in, we're all in. And, you know, I felt the way at half. I go, man, the biggest difference in stats at halftime, there were two things. One, the Kings bench was great. They were totally blowing out the Warriors bench, but everything else was close. And the other outlier was, Steph's already got 20. I mean, he had 10 in the first and 10 in the second. You're like, man, is he going to get a 40-piece here in the game 7? Like this, like that's a little scary because Clay wasn't shooting the ball well. Wiggins wasn't shooting the ball well. Like, can they overcome 40? Well, he went right past 40, went to 50.
First time ever a game 7's had a 50-point score.
Yeah. And it was his best game of the series by far. He willed the team to a win. And, you know, we brought up the question earlier about the Kings' scheme, strategy-wise, defending him. Again, not easy to do. Not easy to do for Davion Mitchell. But I certainly do have – I think that's a fair question to raise. Why did Davion play such few minutes in Game 7?
Had I told you before the game started, had I said Andrew Wiggins is going to go 5 of 16, Klay Thompson's going to go 4 of 19, they're going to combine the two of those to go 3 of 15 from beyond the arc. When you add in Draymond Green, 4 of 19 from beyond the arc. Jordan Poole is going to have 8 points on 3 of 9 shooting. The entire Warrior bench is going to have 18 points. Terrence Davis and Malik Monk alone are going to combine for 28. And the Warriors are going to miss 11 free throws. Now, Jason, Sunday morning, right when you're doing your pregame, I come in and I say, dude, I just came back from the future. I know all these numbers. How many points do you think you're going to say the Kings are going to win?
Yeah, I probably, based on the series, would have asked you one thing and said, that's a lot of missed shots. How many offensive rebounds did the Warriors get?
Even if I told you.
Yeah.
18 for the Warriors, 14 for the Kings.
I say, this is going to be close. This is going to be close. But I think probably a Kings win.
I think I would have said, I promise you the Kings are going to win.
Yeah.
I would have felt so good.
Yeah.
And then Steph Curry goes for 50. And I don't know, and this is something, again, we will talk about today. We have 3 more hours. I don't know if losing at home in overtime versus getting absolutely boat raced at home. I haven't decided which feels worse. I have arguments for both.
Yeah.
But when you look at Steph Curry and what he did yesterday, and the fact that he needed 50 in a game 7 on the road in a performance that I promise you is going to be talked about for decades. Right now, there's the only person on the Kings even capable of sort of approaching that would be a guy like De'Aaron Fox, maybe Malik Monk.
Yeah.
But this is in the moment. You talked about how he had texted Draymond Green. They talked to each other. It was like 3:45 in the morning. They couldn't sleep. Draymond Green was going to address the team. Steph said, I got this. And he addressed the team. Steph did, and he doesn't normally do that. that right there helped them win the game.
Yeah.
And then you combine that with him going out and doing it. And it wasn't just his threes, which were just ridiculous, 7 of 18. But like you said, it was his ability to drive at 6'2", 185 into a world of trees and just layup after layup after layup after short jumper after layup. It's not just the scoring, Jason. What you can't see in the box score is demoralization.
Yep.
The timing of his shots.
Yeah.
Every single time the Kings seemed to try to get up off the canvas, Steph Curry would run across the ring and kick him right in the junk.
Yeah, he did a couple things yesterday that he had never done either in his career or this season. The first one that he had never done in this season was miss 2 free throws in one opportunity. Like, he had 2 shots and he missed both. And the place goes nuts because everybody gets cookies. And I'm thinking, when he missed the first, I'm like, well, everybody's getting riled up, but he's not missing the second, guys. You can just relax. And he did. So he'd never done that all season long. And the thing he had never done in his career was taking 38 shots. He took 38 shots in Game 7, scored 50 points. So he was just on a different level, different mission. And then, kind of to your point where I felt like the game was already done here, but this to me was the classic Dave case of the way the second half went. I don't know if you remember this sequence, but I don't remember who first took the shot for the Warriors. The ball is coming off the board and it's off the rebound, and it's clearly going to be a rebound for Keegan Murray. It hit Keegan in the chest and went out of bounds.
Yep.
And it left 1.6, 1.8. Kings are likely going to still lose this game.
Yes.
But Steph inbounds and runs like a madman to the corner, gets the ball back, releases a corner 3 in time, and just splash. Kings lost attention to detail, and you go, there was a missed rebound, lack of detail, and Steph Curry hitting a 3. That, to me, was the second half.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we have 3 for Madness. We'll look ahead to round 2, and we'll talk about the Kings and their history in Game 7s. We'll do that right after this.
It's Cattles and Rami.
I'm going with one of the ones that gets on my nerves is this guy plays through the whistle. He plays through the whistle. No, he doesn't. Simone.
He's got great football IQ, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. I'm next. He's a hard hat guy. Yeah.
Yep.
He puts his hard hat on and he goes to work, Rami.
Lunch pail guy. Yeah, I had hard hat and lunch pail.
Yeah.
First on my draft board.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Carbine, that's electrifying. Yes, a great ride and go. You'll be smiling. Velcro. Get your motor in. Open road in. Whip down. Highway. Turn it into a highway. Velcro key, a peace of mind guarantee. Is a 20-year or 200K warranty. No hassle, no worry. You bet you'll ask anybody who can turn your highway into a smile way.
Spring is here, and Elk Grove Kia has some incredible offers, like the all-new, all-electric EV6 for just $549 plus tax. What about the sporty Niro EV all-electric, just $397 plus tax? Worried about credit? Don't! Elk Grove Kia's team has over 100 years of combined finance experience. Bad credit? No problem. Elk Grove Kia says yes when others say no. Both payments are examples of 36-month leases, $3,999 customer cash with signing plus DMV registration and taxes, 10K per year, 20 cents per mile, over subject to Kia finance approval, 720 plus FICO score to qualify. Offer expires 4/30/2023. One with this payments, EV6 GK8609, Euro EV GK8598.
Elk Grove Kia.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
Frankie Cardicelli,
who I think is the blame for the Kings failing yesterday.
Find out why at 9 a.m.
Guys, I learned, by the way, on the pre-show yesterday to hype everybody, and, I'm going to shave this. This was my playoff beard. I saw Marsh had one. Crystal, everybody, Rami was out there. Everybody had playoff beards, and I was giving Frankie grief. I'm like, and he said, you know what? I'm going to grow a playoff mustache. Had the Kings won. I'm like, oh, my gosh, this was so great.
Oh, my goodness.
So we're getting robbed of the playoff mustache by Frankie.
I thought you were going to say, you can't grow one.
Well, he said he couldn't really do the beard, but he's like, his words were, I could grow a mustache. I'm like, let's see it.
Dang it. Now I'm upset.
Yeah, me too.
Now I'm sad the Kings lost.
What Frankie would look like with a mustache.
What the Frank stash?
Like an 1890s detective.
3 for Madness, question 1.
It will be Steph versus LeBron, part 5 in the Western Conference semifinals. Will this be the last time these two meet up in the NBA playoffs?
I think you meant LeBron.
No, LeBron.
Oh. Will this be the last time? No, I don't think so. I think LeBron and Steph each have at least 2 more years left. I mean, I know some things have to go right, but what? No, I don't think so, but that's tough. I can see both sides. I don't think so. And it's listen, as an NBA fan, it's going to be incredibly entertaining to see. This is going to be an entertaining series one way or the other. Steph Curry versus LeBron James, I have to acknowledge that. That's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't watch it.
Right. It's weird that they've been in the West now for several years and it just hasn't happened. Obviously, we had the 4 straight in the finals. I will learn not to think, look, some of the talking points, Dave, out of game 6 after the Kings won was the Warriors finally look old.
Right.
They finally look old.
Steph,
If Steph was put on that looked old list, he scored 50 yesterday. Every time we want to say, well, at some point, LeBron, and it'll run out on it, but he is still putting up amazing numbers. These guys are generationally good. And so I'm not going to count them out. I think it's more of just, can they seed together? Like they need the either fortune or misfortune, I guess, to match up with one another. So I think they're both going to be playoff teams again. So also, we'll see them again.
Question 2.
Rank from 8 to 1 the remaining teams with the best shot at winning the NBA title.
Oh boy. Okay. From 8 to 1.
Is that ascending or descending?
Yes.
Given the context, yeah.
Give me a second. God, that's tough, Jay.
I know. I asked the hard-hitting questions in 3 for Madness.
Number 8, the Knicks. Number 7, the Sixers.
You have the Sixers at 7. Oh, like the Joel thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
Number
sense.
6, the Heat. I hate doing that.
You hate doing that.
Number 5, the Lakers. Number 4, the Suns. Number 3, the Warriors. Number 2, the Nuggets. Number 1, Boston. That's the best I can do.
Mine's not far off. I put the Knicks at 8.
Yeah.
The Heat at 7.
Is that what we both had that, right?
You had the Sixers at 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I would have the Sixers higher, but I got to keep them at 6. I think they have a really decent shot, but I can't with Embiid. I just don't know. So I'm going to put them at 6. I put the Lakers 5, the Warriors 4, the Suns 3. I went Boston 2, Denver 1.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Noted Nuggets fan Jason Ross.
So I'm really thinking about that home court. They've been awesome there. They'll have home court, I believe. Well, either way, they will in the West.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
What's both giving you pause on the Suns not being in the top 2?
I put them 3.
I
They're
think
playing
because
Denver.
because I think Denver matches.
So you think
really
Denver's
well.
better?
And
Okay.
by the way, understand, please, and I know you do. I just want to clarify again. This is not rank how good you think these teams are. This is so part of the reason why I put Philly so low. Obviously Embiid, but also I don't think they get past Boston.
Yeah.
Now I still think Philly is easily probably a top 4 remaining team, but with to me the 7th most likely chance. That's what factored in.
If they beat Boston, obviously there'd be 4 teams left. But they might be 1 at that point.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. If they beat Boston, if they're not 2, they're going to be 1. Number 3.
Sounds like you're doing this out of spite for Daryl Morey never calling you back.
Stupid Daryl Morey.
Question 3.
The Kings are now 0-4 in Game 7s. Will we see the Kings win a Game 7 in our lifetime, gentlemen?
No.
Wow.
No. What makes you think you will? Like, you have optimism, and that's fine, but I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll continue to say it. God hates Sacramento. It's just a fact. This is what happens. We'll have more Game 7s. We might even, who knows? We'll win series. But every time, it's like snap the curse, snap the curse, snap the curse. Well, different curses get snapped. Sure, the 16-year streak, this, that, whatever. But when it all came down to it, you had everything you wanted. You had a Game 7 at home after blowing out your opponent on the road. Oh, by the way, remember a lot of the analysis? I was part of that. Hey, you know what? Look at what the Kings are doing to the Warriors on one game's rest. Hey, if the Kings can just keep it close going into the half, Warriors are going to get tired. Curry's had a whole series. These are all tired legs. Throw it out the window.
I feel like every conventional narrative was like
blown out of the water,
murdered in this series.
So I say no, and boy, do I hope I'm wrong, but that's just how it is here.
Boy, the God you believe in is really cruel.
I know.
Yes.
I mean, so that God will say, you know what? We're going to give him a little taste, a little success.
Yes.
All these good things.
Yes.
And even give him a lead at halftime.
We're going to let you win game 6.
And then just be tortured in the second half.
God is Lucy. We are Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
And every time we start to believe we can kick the football,
I'm going to get the fact that in 38 years they've had 4. It's, look, we just had a first round that had 8 series, only 1 went to game 7. This was the one. I feel like the past losses are irrelevant to yesterday. Now yesterday adds on to the resume. So now there's 4. They've lost them all. 2 at home, 2 on the road. I believe they're going to be a playoff team here for a few years. So
I agree.
I'm more concerned, can they even get, not concerned, because if you can win series quicker, it doesn't matter. I don't even know if they're going to be in many game 7s, but I'm just going to play the odds and say, yes, we are going to see them win a game 7.
Once more on the chat says God does an offensive rebound. That's actually a great point. He could help us there.
And can't go left.
Yeah.
I've never believed God hates Sacramento. I feel like God is that parent and we're the kid, and God's like, okay, see that? That's lava. Don't jump in it. It'll burn you. And Sacramento's like, I don't believe you. And whoosh, explodes.
You ever see a cat that caught a mouse but doesn't eat the mouse right away? It just kind of holds onto it, the tail, and maybe it slaps it around a little bit, and then it'll put it in one paw, and the mouse will try to get away, and they'll just catch it with the other paw. Like, it gives the mouse a little bit of hope, kind of wants to play with it before eventually just snapping down and breaking its neck. God's the cat. We're the mouse.
Most people like have cats more as demonic figures.
I'm just saying, dude.
I'm not sure that's good.
Playing with the food.
Hey, since we got a little time left, let's do question 4.
Okay.
What'd you guys make of Kyrie Irving at the game yesterday?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, Kyrie was at the game. Eric Armstead was at the game. Bunch of, Harry Giles.
Yeah, got a lot of love.
Got a ton of love. What do I think of Kyrie? I think Kyrie's a basketball fan. Do I think he jinxed us? Probably. Of course he did.
Should we have saged the arena the minute we knew he was coming to the game?
Wasn't he in LA he was in there for the Lakers Memphis game.
Just a basketball fan.
Yeah.
Was
or is he scouting for his next home? He is a free agent.
You shut your mouth.
I meant for the Warriors.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They definitely didn't show him on the big screen. I think that's a smart move.
What do you
do you think the fans would have just erupted and cheered, Jason?
No, but it was interesting because I can't remember I think the bit's called great hair cam or whatever, and so they're showing different people.
Yes.
And that's when we saw, I'm assuming, I think it's his daughter, and they showed her.
Kyrie's daughter?
Yeah.
Oh,
cute,
I didn't know.
Super cute.
Yeah.
She had great hair. They were showing her. And then just like partially on part of the screen, because you see her, and I didn't even see him at first, and I could have sworn she was like, Dad, look up, look, I'm on there or whatever. And you could just see, I go, is that Kyrie Irving? And Henry said the same thing. And then we realized, yeah, Kyrie Irving's there. Like, what? Kyrie?
He was very incognito.
So he's partly on that big screen.
What cam could you have done with it? You have done Sage cam. It's like have a burning thing of
Flat
sage.
Earth cam.
Flat Earth cam. Yeah, I was trying to think about what that.
I got a couple more in mind that I can't say over there.
No, I can think of a couple too. We'll take a break.
Sage cam.
When we come back, all right, our first time today. Let's take a look back. Let's go to 50,000 feet and take a look back at this season for the Sacramento Kings. We'll do that next.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Monday. It's the start of May, and we're out the door to a cool start. It's going to stay cooler than average today as well. Look for sunshine and clouds mixing in. Today is a dry day with highs in the mid-60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, capital, and everything in between. Learn about all the benefits of being a business banking member at valleystrong.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Let Shane and his team at bridgehavenhomes.com take that stress away. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to 3 key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Sacramento area attorneys. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning with your Sactown Sports headlines. I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings looked to advance to the second round of the NBA playoffs for the first time since 2004, but it wasn't to be.
Kings fans, those that weren't standing for the final minutes, come to their feet. They will salute their heroes as the Warriors will just count down the final seconds. 10 seconds left in this season for Sacramento. The 38th year of the Kings in California's capital city. It will end in disappointment. A Game 7 opportunity goes in the direction of the Warriors.
Golden State won by a final score of 120-100, due largely in part to 50 points from Steph Curry. That was the most in a Game 7 in NBA history. Our Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli, will be joining us at 9 a.m. to break down Game 7 from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. In NFL draft news, the San Francisco 49ers moved up in the third round to the 87th pick via a trade with the Minnesota Vikings and took safety Jair Brown out of Penn State, helping shore up their secondary. You can read all about the 49ers draft picks right now at SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
I see AK in the chat. I will say this. If there is one advantage to it being a 20-point blowout, I don't have to worry about, like, oh, if we only made that shot or whatever. And I also want to say this, like, AK saying, you know, the NBA scripted this and that there was no way they came. I will wave the flag of referees from Game 6, 2002. I have no problems shouting from the rooftops about the last 2-minute reports. And there were calls that went against the Kings in this series. There were calls that went against the Warriors in this series. If you really do look at it objectively, listen, Steph Curry, as good as he was, Steph Curry got fouled on a few plays that didn't get called. Steph Curry also pushes off on every other play that doesn't get called. I get that. The referees did not dictate this series.
Nope.
The Kings did not lose because there was some narrative or conspiracy. Maybe that is the one real thing that's better about this series than 0-2 when we compare the game sevens. I'm not leaving this series going, this was a scam. I hate the NBA. And I honestly, and I want to call out the people that are doing this right now, not because I'm trying to attack or disrespect you, but because I love you and I am your friend. And you do not do that. Do not blame the refs or the NBA for this series. I know most of you aren't. I'm talking to those of you specifically that do it. Embrace the pain and the blame. Be accountable and look at the team as a whole and what they didn't do. Look at the Warriors and what they did do. Doesn't mean there weren't bad calls. It doesn't mean there were things that could have been called differently. But the Warriors missed a bunch of free throws too.
Yep.
There were missed calls on Draymond Green. There were missed calls on Steph Curry. There were missed calls. This was not because of the referees. This was not because of the NBA. Don't you dare do that to yourself. That is not a road you want to go down mentally.
Yeah, the funny part about when the word came out, I think you even posted it too, but I saw others that Scott Foster, officiating Game 7, I would read the comments, and Warrior fans, we're doomed.
Yes.
Kings fans, we're doomed.
Yes.
It just can't be that way. And I thought Game 7 was fine. Again, you could pick out isolated. That was a foul. That was a bad call. Sure.
No,
but I don't think it dictated the game.
I tweeted yesterday at one point during the game. I think it was mid-third. There was a stupid call. Was it Clay getting fouled, the kick out, but they called Keegan for I forget what it was. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, Scott Foster. And in the moment, Scott Foster was Scott Fostering for a couple of calls. Yeah. And then there were a lot of people replying, going like, well, Scott Foster's not the reason we don't offensive rebound. I'm like, no. In that moment, I was pissed at Scott Foster. Scott Foster had nothing to do with the loss yesterday.
Yeah.
He had absolutely the refs were fine. I would give the refs a solid B+ for this series. And I don't know that you can really get an A.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be missed calls. There's going to be things that get let go. I totally get it. In the end, they lost. In the end, it's over. And in the end, now we look back at the whole. Jason, you are the optimist of the show. I am the pessimist of the show. It's why we're good together, because I'm a nut job, crazy pants, and you're very stable. So I will switch, and I will present to you the following. This is one of the most memorable Kings teams ever.
Mm-hmm.
This is the birth of the Beam team. You had the post-game photos. You had the Beam itself. You had all the highlights after starting 0-4. You got a Game 7 against the defending champions, a team that could very well go on and win the whole thing again this year. There are so many. By the way, everyone's young or just entering their prime. Everybody wants. Trey Lyles said yesterday he's a free agent. He wants to return to Sacramento. This is probably the most attractive Sacramento has been from a free agency standpoint ever. Even back in 2000s, this is so attractive because you potentially have one, if not two, starting spots open on this team. People are going to want to be a part of this. This might be the best culture this team's ever had. This year as a whole was resoundingly positive.
Absolutely. And I think the one thing that might be the most important from his very first press conference, Mike Brown talked about, this team needs a soul.
Yeah.
They got it. And they got it in one short season. I mean, in a season.
Yeah.
An identity, a way of play, a style of offense that I think is very attractive to other people, to the people that will stay on this team and get better at that, and grow. And it does feel like this is the beginning of something special. That, to me, is what's most encouraging, as so much disappointment from yesterday, especially the second half, the reality of ending this. But I think it's also the reality of ending look, the diehards that are here when they win 17 games are here no matter what.
Yes, they are.
But they drew in people that weren't here. And that's a compliment.
That's right.
Yeah, more people like to see him win, but they were fun. And they got into, to give the G-Man the defensive player of the game chain.
So great.
Miguel, the defensive player of the game chain at the end of it. Like that whole thing, people wanted those to be in those pictures with them.
Yes.
Like Sacramento felt like, I'm in there with you guys, and people that adopted this team. And so there was an attraction to this team. And that, to me, is really what's encouraging in the starting point. And the core pieces and coaching staff and front office that stick around will continue to build on that. And then that's where we saw the accolades, which is a byproduct. I mean, I personally think it's cool, but that's not what they're playing for. But to see Fox get what he did and the Clutch Award and All-Star and hopefully an All-NBA, Sabonis, rebounding champ, All-Star, should be All-NBA, Brown Coach of the Year. We hope Monty gets executive. Just all these things and recognition. And next year, the little complex that we have, which is the charm of our team too, of, oh, no national attention. Wow, the best offense in the league. I think it's coming. And I think this was the building block of some future elements. Now, with all that being said, so there's critical moves that need to be, or decisions that need to be talked about and made. And it gets back to the point, you need to keep getting those right. And if they do, this team's just going to get better.
I think you go back to 1999 as an example, and this happens pretty much with any team right off the top. The starting lineup had Jason Williams. He was eventually gone. The starting lineup had Corliss Williamson. That eventually became Peja Stojakovic. You look at the bench and everything that was added to it. You had the core. Doug Christie got brought in. There was between Mike Bibby, Doug Christie, and Peja Stojakovic, none of those three guys were factors in their first year against the Jazz. They adjusted to that, and I don't think 3 of the 5 in the starting lineup necessarily will be gone anytime, but 1 or 2 of them will be. The bench is going to be different, and Monty's going to do everything he can to upgrade. When you look at the coach he brought in, and remember, this was the first coach he brought in. Luke Walton was already here. When you look at his draft history, when you look at his trade history, when you look at what he's done, there's absolutely why now the culture has changed. Now this is a free agent destination. You really think Monty and Wes can't build on this? We'll talk about this in the next segment when it comes to next year and the repeat. But from this year's point of view, Jason, it was just short of a championship. And it was everything we could have wanted.
Yeah, it was going to end. You're right. Short of a championship, it was going to end with this show, this feeling yesterday. Did it have to be a game 7 at home? Could it have been in a later round? Barring a parade, there was going to be a painful way to end it. But I think at some point, and that's like we started the show, fans, players, organization, they're going to grieve on this in different ways. Some may need several weeks. Some may go, I'm not watching another basketball game at all. Some may go, I'm in, I'm fine. They fully got me engaged, and I can't wait for next year. I mean, people have to do it the way they need to do that. But to me, I look at what they've built, what they can build. And then you also just kind of look around the Western Conference at the timeline of the other teams.
That's right.
Yes, Steph didn't look old yesterday, but that's coming.
Clay, by the way, did look a little old in the series.
And I think at times the Warriors did, but it doesn't matter. They advanced.
That's right.
LeBron is getting there. There are times he looks old. He does, but he's also amazing. The Kawhi, Paul George timeline is not worked the way they wanted it to.
Chris Paul, Kevin Durant.
Like their run is coming. At some point, it'll come to an end. But while all those things are where our eyes are, OKC and Utah are doing things maybe like the Kings did this year.
That's
and Houston at some point will get it back. So Spurs, you just got to keep progressing forward. But I like where they are. I like what they've built. And the other part, we said it all season long, the hidden secret to their success was playing everybody, staying healthy, building confidence. Ironically, they did get hurt in the postseason. Now, I don't know. Do they win yesterday if De'Aaron doesn't have a broken finger? I don't know. I don't know if it made a difference, but I think he would have played a little better. I think Sabonis was bothered, but everybody is. And so it's part of it, but hopefully they can build off this.
It's interesting when you were naming off teams. Denver is also, by the way, not super old.
Right.
Memphis,
Minnesota.
Despite what they have, Minnesota, Sacramento, Oklahoma City, New Orleans.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
And then what's interesting about that, and this is why I kind of hate the NBA. We should be having a conversation about the transition of power and, oh my God, look at the small markets. The small markets are on their way up. The small markets are on the come. Here we go. Yet we both know.
Yeah.
The big markets aren't going to.
Yeah.
They're not just going to lie down and die.
Well, wasn't the stat, okay, Denver's the 1 seed, Memphis was 2, Kings were 3, and Phoenix is 4. And I think it might have been the first time ever that the top 4 seeds, Phoenix hasn't won a championship, right? No.
I think,
or
That's right.
So the top 4, none of them had won a championship.
Yeah.
In the top 4.
That's crazy.
Now 2 and 3 are out, but 1 and 4 are playing each other.
They are.
And the usual the Lakers are in. The Warriors are down there. I mean, just some of these other teams that have been able to win titles. It's the top 4 that hadn't. And actually 5 Clippers.
That's right. Clippers have they been to a Western Conference Finals?
They've been to a conference
one
finals.
Western Conference Finals. We'll take them, but they've never been to a finals. Yeah. When we come back, all right, okay.
What's next?
Really honestly, what is next? Can the Kings repeat or beat this year's performance? And I'm going to tell you the biggest reason that scares me as to why they can't. We'll do that next.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Hand off McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feels super, baby! The 5-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
On your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The newest, most exciting race cars are coming to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca May 12th through 14th for the Motul Course de Monterey, powered by Hyundai. North America's premier sports car series brings intense wheel-to-wheel racing. And there's plenty of family fun too, including go-karts, a Ferris wheel, and a kids zone. Get your tickets now by calling 831-242-8200. That's 831-242-8200. Or visit WeatherTechRaceway.com. Enjoy Mother's Day weekend May 12th through 14th in beautiful Monterey.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The folks at M&S Auto know that inflation is tough on everybody. If you need an excellent, gently used car or truck, M&S has hundreds of vehicles on the lot on El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. M&S customers get great deals and they save thousands. Get a great deal now on super clean 4x4s, including Tacomas, Silverados, and Jeeps, and muscle cars, Challengers, Teslas, Mustangs, and even the occasional McLaren. M&S Auto, msautogroup.com.
They bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
So, all signs. Well, hold on. Is this a real line one here? Have you screened? Oh, okay. I didn't. Well, the caller ID on the line one says E-T.
Oh, and they're phoning home.
E-E-E-T-E-E. That's exactly what I thought. We'll see what's going on there.
Yeah.
All signs point to this is just the beginning. The only reason, let me just get it out of the way because that's what I teased. You know, the only thing that I'll give you 1.5 reasons. The only real legit reasons I could see that the Kings would not be able to match their performance this year. The only 2 things that are really in my head. Number one, and it's funny saying this now at the end of this series, but this is the healthiest team in the NBA.
Yeah.
It was not close.
Right.
I think the Knicks were the second healthiest, and the distance between the Kings and the Knicks was like the same as the difference between the Knicks and like the 10 teams below them. They were, and I get it. You have your 2 superstars with broken fingers/hands, but when you're talking about games lost, the Kings were by far the absolute healthiest.
Yeah. And, take next year, let's say the same type of situation happens to Sabonis that we're all fearing. And what if it went the other way and he missed 6 to 8 weeks? Right. Totally different season.
Totally different.
Now, it didn't happen that way, thank goodness. But, yeah, they were healthy.
What if De'Aaron, has that avulsion fracture in game 44?
Yeah.
So that and that's not under anybody's control. It's just when I'm trying to think of reasons why they couldn't, that's, to me, by far number one. And then this is just something I'm probably trying to talk myself into. But, you only get to take the league by surprise once.
Yeah.
The Kings are going to have an X on their back, but nobody's going, oh, this was an easy win. And I don't know, maybe they got 2, 3, 4 wins this year that way. And I have nothing to back that up. Yeah. Truly, honestly, all signs point towards this team meeting and exceeding expectations. 1-800-920-1140. TC, good morning.
What's up, Dave? What's up, Jay Ross, Jay Mars?
What up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Man, I'm just going to keep it simple. It's not doom and gloom. I think we can get back. We're going to get back to the playoffs. But one thing that we need to do as a coaching staff and as players is Mike Brown going into next season into a playoff series, not talk so much about strategy. I think that was the outcome. I don't care about if a team knows what you're doing, but we talked a lot during those interviews, like praising the Warriors, saying they're champions. We want to play fast. We want to spray a lot of threes. Bro, you're talking about your scheme. That's what Curry talked about. Curry was like, well, we knew they wanted to play small ball yesterday, so we knew that they didn't want to switch anything because they were talking so much about it. And then we went into the game. So that's like, I don't know, it's like tipping your hand a little bit. Mike did that this whole series. That's the only thing I didn't like that he did. I love everything Mike does, but as far as talking about your strategy, every game and what you want to do, we want to run, we want to space the floor, we want to spray a lot of threes. That's talking about your scheme, bro. Not once did I hear Steve Kerr say that about his team. All he said is we have to play defense. The guys got to step up. He never said, hey, we're going to send backdoor cuts. We're going to do this. We're going to do double screens. Mike Brown talked about every strategy, bro, to the media, and I think that hurt us.
Hey, listen. I think it's easy to write that off, and maybe it is as like, oh, that's fan and media stuff. That doesn't – I'm not going to lie. I kind of had some thoughts like that too. I also, when De'Aaron's hurt his finger after game 4, and then was like, no, I'm definitely playing. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I was like, why are you saying that?
Right.
Just play. There's like that little chess match. And again, it's probably just fan and media stuff and it's dumb, but I'm not going to lie. I keep saying I'm not going to lie. I had that thought, like, play a little more media chess, would you?
Which the Warriors did.
Yeah.
You think about yesterday, they switched their lineup. We found out we were in the pregame minutes before. Not that it was shocking, but they went back to Draymond Green in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Kings were prepared for that. It wasn't like they were stunned, but they changed their starting lineup by half sometimes. They did a lot of tinkering and weren't telling everybody that.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah.
1-800-920-1140. Good morning, Kareem.
Good morning, fellas. So, yeah, after Friday's game, leading into Friday's game, you guys was talking Friday morning. And, everybody was saying, it'll be a tall order for them guys to go in there and get that game 6 and, push it to a game 7. Not saying that it couldn't be done, but it was a tall order. And I think the two differences that I've seen in game 6 and 7, in game 6, the Kings, they played loose, man. They played with like, hey, we don't got nothing to lose. They just played young, energetic, and they just balled, and they went in there and got a 19-point win. I think in game 7, the contrast was, the moment got to them, they started to feel the pressure, hitting, missing 11 free throws, as you guys alluded to, as well as the Warriors missed 11 as well. But, the offensive rebounding killed them guys in this series. Looney was a animal on them boards. I think he had at least 2 or 3 games with plus 20 rebounds. And, Steph Curry went into a phone booth and came out Superman, put up 50. And, this guy is unbelievable. I mean, over the course of his career in playoff series, I just heard this morning from Stephen A., he is 23-4 in playoff series. That's a better winning percentage of all the greats, Jordan, Kobe, Shaq, Magic, all of them. So, the thing about Steph, anytime you get a guy like that that's willing to go in there and just give it to you like he did, you got to do something to, put him at bay. And like you said, Mitchell only playing 8 minutes. I don't know what Mike Brown was thinking. I mean, he did a great job on Steph throughout the course of the series. I thought he should have played a lot more minutes and primarily on Steph Curry. So, going into this next series, man, it's going to be a chess match. And I think, like the last caller said, Mike Brown showed his hand a little bit too much. And the familiarity that he had with the Warriors, he didn't take advantage of that. So, the Kings will be there next year. Great season, man. And my hat's off to them guys, but on to the next. Blessings.
I appreciate that. That's a great call. It occurs to me, Jason, with everything else going on, it's easy to forget that the Golden State Warriors were the worst team in the NBA not that long ago because of the injuries.
Yeah.
And you know what? As of right now, they kind of crapped the bed with the rewards.
On that second timeline, the dueling timeline thing.
Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, James Wiseman.
Yeah.
Now, way early. But when you look at the fact
they've already moved on from one of them.
Well, they moved on from Wiseman, and at least they got Gary Payton out of it, which is okay,
Yeah.
But James Wiseman was drafted ahead of LaMelo Ball, number 3, Patrick Williams, number 4, Tyrese Halliburton, number 12. Like, imagine what those guys look like if they just had not crapped the bed with those picks, and maybe they end up being superstars. I truly don't know. But then Jonathan Kuminga, you had Franz Wagner after that. I mean, that was kind of Moses Moody, whatever, ahead of Alperen Şengün. You can nitpick all you want, but those bad years really didn't translate, at least this year. They're not being successful because of the draft picks they got during those bad years.
Right.
It's just because Steph Curry's healthy.
And killing it, right? And the whole group. And I think the other mystery of the whole series was Wiggins. How would Wiggins be? And for the most part, I thought he was really pretty good in the series. There was a couple games, maybe game 6 specifically, he wasn't as sharp, but he makes them more complete, and he really helped in his return.
When it comes to the offseason, the free agents, Harrison Barnes, Trey Lyles, Terrence Davis, Alex Len, Chimezie Metu, Matthew Dellavedova, Nimi Keita and Ellis are both qualifying offers. I expect Ellis and Keita will return, as will Metu, maybe. Well, let's start with, it sounds like Lyles wants to come back.
That's a good thing.
It is a good thing. Delly's probably gone. Len's probably gone. Well, let's start with Barnes. That's a tough call, man. And by the way, it's not just do you want Harrison Barnes or not. It's, well, who are you replacing him with? Because average to above average threes are not that plentiful right now unless you're trading for somebody.
Yeah, and Harrison Barnes, look, we're going to look at the end of the last 2 games wasn't great. I don't think he was fine in the series, but not a great series.
Yeah.
But there's something to be said for being there every day. The leadership role that he had, played all 82 games. I think the leadership role, though, what he has done and what he meant, the kind of that bond to the locker room, I think probably needs to be taken over by Fox and Sabonis. Not as a slight to Barnes, but just Barnes has kind of been through it, lived. He's been on a championship team. He's learned how to play as a number 1 in Dallas, and then now he's kind of in the role position here. But that one is really intriguing to me because I think there's arguments to be made to bring him back.
Yeah.
There's arguments to be made to move on. So I don't know what Monty and Wes in the front office think about that one because that's I wouldn't say it's a tough decision, but you want to get that one right in a sense that if you keep him, you pay him at what you think is right to not compromise the team going forward. And if you don't, to your point, Dave, it's what in replace of him that can get you what you need.
He's an unrestricted free agent at the 3.
Who's that?
Dylan Brooks.
Why don't you add Dylan and Draymond?
Jay, can't hear you. There you go.
Foul. Take the rest of the segment off.
I'm just trying to
go outside, find a corner, and think about what you just said.
How about waking up and being Dylan Brooks on Sunday? Woof. I don't know that I've ever seen a guy self-own this badly in my life. And then he had to pay $25,000 for looking like a coward and leave the media. Say what you want about Draymond. He's going to answer every media question afterwards with a big, defiant smile on his face.
Yeah. I never thought I'd utter these words, man, but I found myself rooting for the Lakers in that series because of Dylan Brooks and that Memphis team.
I did too. I did too. That's how stinking hateable he is. We'll take a break.
How dare you put that out there in the ethos, in the atmosphere?
When
you're a bad person.
Okay, you got to pick one that comes on this team next year: Draymond Green or Dylan Brooks.
Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Wow. Imagine wanting Draymond Green on your team.
Imagine wanting Dylan Brooks on your team.
Didn't say why. Did you say he was a free agent?
No. There was intention there.
When this is how stuff gets twisted. We got to go to break.
This is why I'm glad Monty McNair's in charge, not you.
Let me be very clear. I do not want Dylan Brooks on the Kings.
Why?
0%. Why? Because I don't want to hate my own team. Plus, he's a dingleberry. I don't want Dylan Brooks, Floppy McFlopperton, on this team.
Jason, do you agree those are good reasons why?
Dave doesn't like dingleberries.
Or Floppy Floppertons. Exactly. Both. When we come back, we'll continue the offseason stuff as well. We'll recap this 7-game series, the highs, the lows, and let's take a look at who's out there right now. We'll take your phone calls at 1-800-920-1140. We're right back at SactownSports.com.
It's Cattles and Rami.
Hashtag blame Simone. She forgot to appropriately dress baby Yoda today.
She was too busy taking all the compliments.
Yeah, telling people how big of a deal she is. Simone, like literally 3 women just walked up to Simone and like, oh, we listen to you guys every day. And then she's like, oh, but you're Simone though, right? And then Simone's like, oh yeah, that's Rami and Nick and that's Jay over there.
Yeah, you know, the guys. Cattles and Rami.
Yeah,
the
like,
Cattles and Rami show or whatever.
You're right.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Cordell.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Spring officially here. And with the long, cold, and rainy winter behind us, I'm sure you're counting the days until summer, but don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioner is working efficiently and, most importantly, safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from American Energy Heat and Air. There's nothing worse than your air conditioner going out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today and make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call, 916-520-9990, or schedule your appointment online at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Better Business Bureau, A+ rating. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. Easy, convenient payment options, same as cash, low monthly payments through financing partners. What do you need? 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
those stomach issues ruined your birthday?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa.
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
According to Dave Stockton, good putting starts by seeing the ball go in the hole before you ever put the putter in your hand. He says when you reach the green, you've erased all thoughts of the shot that got you there. You're already starting to putt. You begin to read the terrain over which the ball will roll, judge the line the ball will take, and get a sense of the speed it will roll. Then you conjure up a mental picture of the ball following the terrain, rolling at a certain speed, and dropping in the cup as if it's already happened. Stockton has always been regarded as one of the best putters in the game. I've used one of his tips for years. He says, don't focus your eyes on the ball when you putt. You pick a spot 1 inch in front of the ball that you want the ball to roll over. And that's where you look. You'll know instantly whether the putt is going in the hole if you putt over that spot 1 inch in front of the ball. Try it. I think you'll putt better too. Just remember, as I've said before, nonchalant putts count the same as chalant putts. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Your home for the biggest matchups in the NFL. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning with your Sactown Sports headlines. I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings looked to advance to the second round of the NBA playoffs for the first time since 2004, but it wasn't to be.
Kings fans, those that weren't standing for the final minutes, come to their feet. They will salute their heroes as the Warriors will just count down the final seconds. 10 seconds left in this season for Sacramento. The 38th year of the Kings in California's capital city. It will end in disappointment. A Game 7 opportunity goes in the direction of the Warriors.
Golden State won by a final score of 120-100, due largely in part to 50 points from Steph Curry. That was the most in a Game 7 in NBA history. Our Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli, will be joining us at 9 a.m. to break down Game 7 from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. In NFL draft news, the San Francisco 49ers moved up in the third round to the 87th pick via a trade with the Minnesota Vikings and took safety Jair Brown out of Penn State, helping shore up their secondary. You can read all about the 49ers draft picks right now at SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
One 800-920-1140. If we have, well, let me say this. This is one thing that hasn't been said today, or if it did, I don't remember. I have said this, Jason. One of the reasons, there's a lot of reasons I really like working with you. Obviously, I love and respect you as a human as much or more than anyone I've ever met, but also you are a yin to the gang when it comes to attitudes, and that helps me because I really do sometimes question. I'm not gonna lie. I sat around yesterday. I really get in depressive holes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do. I get in dark places, and it surrounds this team so much. And I'm sitting there last night thinking about today and thinking about the team in general. I'm like, why are you doing? Why? You know, there's a moment where you allow yourself to go, why? Why is it worth it? Why are you doing this? And the answer is always because that's just how it is. And you just do it. And it's, you only remember the bad times in those situations, not the good times. But I also think it's important too, to acknowledge what an absolute honor it has been for both of us. I'm going to speak for you here because I know you agree, to share this year with all of our listeners, all the rest of all the fans, to be in this and to be, you know, I read one of those things last week. I brought it up where they were talking about how journalists are saying, you know, you should never say we.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that path's been crossed. Like, Kings fan, today's show is not going to be as good, you know, professional, or we're all just emoting on the air, and I'm probably the worst at it. I can't hide it. But for everybody on YouTube right now, I see a ton of you in there. And honestly, I said to you before the show, Jason, you know this. I was like, God, I don't think we're having anybody in there today.
Yeah.
And look, everyone's in there on the text line, and just you guys listening right now. Like, before we do anything, our main goal is we are local for a huge reason, and that is we are here for you. We are your outlet. We are your sounding board. And if you want to talk, I think we're always going to give you the floor more than anyone else.
Yeah. And I've learned, for me, something that ironically, that for me, that you may not want to talk about, as the more I talk about sometimes some things, I get back to my reset, which is optimism. Now, I wasn't feeling good yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't want that to be. I didn't leave the game right away going, next year, 55 wins, one seed, they're in the Western Conference Finals. It was like, man, rebounding. Why didn't Davion guard Steph? Why did they miss so many free throws? 1 of 18 in one stretch of shooting. Like, all those thoughts were still very present.
Sure.
And, but also the same thing can be true. I know the way the day started, I was so giddy about Game 6.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the greatest wins this organization has ever had.
They were calling him Josh during the pregame.
So giddy. And then it's like we've always said, Dave, it's the anticipation. So I don't know that anybody, I didn't start in a place that we all get to.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, I know this is going to go. It's going to be close, and then we're going to be let down because that's the Kings. I was like, no, they can win the series. They could beat the Warriors.
Yes.
And the way the game was going, I'm like, they could beat the Warriors in the first quarter. They could beat the Warriors at half. Third quarter was depressed, but it was like, you know what? It's 10. If any team can do it, this team can.
Yes.
And it didn't get better. And that to me is probably the hardest part about it, is that didn't look like the team at the end that we saw all year. And credit that to the Warriors. Credit that to Steph Curry. If you played an 8th game, maybe they're better on the game 8. If you played a 9th game, maybe they win the series. Maybe the peak was game 1 and 2. Maybe it was game 6. I don't know. There were great moments in there, but they're certainly frustrated. I thought about Harrison Barnes' shot in game 4 driving home. Like, man, if that goes in, how different is this series? Lots of things.
I think we win a 9-game series. And that's what I'm going to take from
well,
all
let's
this.
Tell the league. Come on, you love the series so much, NBA. Let's play 2 more.
Good morning. You're on with Dave and Jason. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
We're good. Ish.
Hey, I was wondering why. Yeah. I was wondering why not one person is talking about how Looney was camping in the lane for 10 seconds of possession. They didn't call 3 seconds in the paint call all series long. That was the reason he was getting every rebound. He was cutting off our back cut. That's it. That's the reason why they won the series.
Well, I would say this.
And you know, someone pointed that out earlier in the series to us, I remember, and I was like, I'm going to watch for that. I forgot. I got so caught up in everything else.
Here's what I'm going to say, and people aren't going to like this answer. He must not have been.
Or Dave, I don't like that answer.
Or we're missing something.
Yeah.
Because here's why. And I wish I had a better answer for you guys, but let me just give you the logic answer. We didn't hear one comment from any of the players or coaches from the Kings about that throughout the entire series. And they would have. They would have sent tape to the league. They would have been continually frustrated. They would have made a giant deal out of it. Now, maybe we're watching it at home and we're counting 1, 2, 3. And I know there's a thing with 3 in the key, defensive 3 in the key, where I think it's if your guy that you're defending directly has the ball, that rule doesn't apply. It's something like that. And we'll get clarity on that. We'll ask the question and we'll get clarity. I'm just saying, take emotions out and think about it just logically. Think about it just logically. Come here. It's okay. No, come here. No, for real. Come here. I didn't even know you were. Are you? Well,
I just came in to talk.
Just visit real quick. Kyle Madsen.
Hey, everybody.
This is interesting because you're wearing the NorCal series.
Yeah.
That's a nice hoodie, by the way.
Yeah, shout out Brickhouse.
And is that a new Monarchs hat?
Yeah, it's like a newly made.
That's a really nice Monarchs hat.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Are you here to announce that they're back?
I wish that'd be cool.
Oh, okay.
Like if I just had that news in my pocket.
I know you have 2 words for us. Go ahead.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know? 2 words? Go ahead.
If he doesn't know the 2 words.
I don't know the 2 words.
I don't know the
Crumble
2 words.
cookies?
Mm-hmm. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for Steph better.
Oh, well, I mean, that's what you guys earlier were talking about. Like, God hates Sacramento. And I'm like, no. I don't think Steph hates Sacramento specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's competitive and wants to win.
Let me just say, for the record, in all seriousness, and then I'll get back to being me. Kyle is maybe the fairest Warrior fan I know, and he is a lifelong Warrior fan, so I respect that. Congratulations. It was a good series.
It was unbelievable. The Kings beat every other team in the West yesterday. if they played them.
Yeah.
Steph's just a force of nature.
That performance. And by the way, Clay kind of crapped the bed. I was waiting.
Kinda.
Yeah. Jordan Poole.
Whole series. Got him in a straitjacket.
You must have had a lot of mixed emotions. Obviously, you wanted the Warriors to win, but I know you have a lot of roots here, a lot of people that you love here.
Yeah.
That it's you've won many championships. I'm sure there was a tiny party, and I was like, well, if we're gonna lose, I want to lose to these.
Yeah,
guys.
I would have pulled hard for the Kings had they won. I'm not anti. I love you guys. You guys are my friends.
And my friend.
You're just here to talk. You're not on today. I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not on today. I just wanted to pop in.
You just want to pop in and say hi. Okay. Well, coming up later, we'll visit again.
Okay, sounds great.
All right. Good series.
Right. Yeah, it's great.
Thanks. It's Kyle Madsen, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye. You wanted to. Where were we? I just saw his face in the door, and I had to say hi.
It's a lovely face.
You got to be, And I don't have a problem with the team and the it's really easy to win well. It's not easy to lose well.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to, you have to tip your cap. Hey, Bill, good morning. Welcome in.
Hey, Dave. Hey, listen, I'm going to go with what you said. I'm going to take emotion out of it. And we learned hard truths about the team that you have to learn. There are so many good things, so many good potential things. But, how many times did Sabonis get a rebound slapped straight out of his hand? He has to learn from that. There's how many turnovers were there? I think it was in game 5 near the end where we gave away like 2 in a row. There's inexperience there. But I think we have a front office and a head coach and a staff that's not rudderless. I think there's a lot of cause for optimism going forward. We got great young talent. And a lot of that young talent really contributed. So it's a bummer, but get
the Dr. Pepper.
I'm stoked for the future. Yeah, that too. And I'm stoked for the future.
Thanks, buddy. There you go. We'll take a break. When we come back, AC, I see you. You're going to lead us off. There's another call coming in as well. Lines filling up right now. 1-800-920-1140. We got plenty of stuff to talk about. We got all kinds of points to talk about. But if you want to vent, if you have questions, if you want to sound off, this is your show first and foremost. It's Jason Ross, Carmichael Dave, right back on SactownSports.com.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Feel and hear the power of America's muscle cars and more at the Trans Am Speed Fest, May 5th through 7th at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Enjoy the open race panic and be immersed among the teams. From the top of the corkscrew to the bottom of turn 1, it's 3 days of racing thrills for the whole family. For tickets, call 831-242-8200. That's 831-242-8200. Or visit WeatherTechRaceway.com. The Trans Am Speed Fest, May 5th through 7th at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca in Monterey.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Your phone calls at 1-800-920-1140. AC!
What's going on?
Good morning. Are we on speakerphone right now?
Sorry about that. I'll fix that.
That's okay. I want people to be able to hear you, buddy.
Okay. I said ahead of the game that I don't care if Steph Curry ironically gets 50 points. We just need to keep everyone else from scoring. And unfortunately, we didn't do that. We had 70 points from other people. So someone chipped in more points, and obviously we didn't come out with a win. But what was disturbing about that game to me was Steph Curry was interviewed after the game, and I'm sure he's been interviewed a lot since then. No mention of the Kings as a worthy opponent. I thought that was kind of distasteful. I was a little disrespected by that. What do you think?
Well, let me ask you this. Do you agree with Draymond Green that Domantas Sabonis shook his hand?
You know, we were joking that, and if you watch De'Aaron Fox, he hugged Draymond Green, and you could tell he was holding in the tears. I mean, it was really, really emotional for him. And we were joking, my son and I and his wife, we were joking that there's no way that Sabonis is going to hug Green. So, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I do know that Draymond said some really complimentary things about Fox and saying, it's not going to be the last time we see these Kings. Fox is that guy. So, I mean, I don't know. I think Steph was answering questions he was asked about. I know Kerr was very complimentary.
Honestly, and I haven't seen all of Steph's statements either. I imagine had somebody, and maybe they did and we missed it, but had somebody been like, hey, talk a little bit about the Kings, did they push in? I'm fairly confident Steph Curry would have done a nice soliloquy. And I know that makes I like hearing it as much as the next guy, but I would have rather done there's also a part of me too, by the way, to AC's call. Not gonna lie, man, if they'd asked that question and we were playing a 1-minute clip of Steph Curry being super complimentary, I'd have been okay. Like, stop condescending. You know what I mean? Nothing's great after a loss. Hello, Matt. Welcome in.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm the caller that called last week about the 3-second defensive violation.
Oh, there you go.
With Looney. So I was actually at the game yesterday, and from the first quarter, I started yelling. I was cupping my hands in front of my mouth, yelling as loud as I could. 3 seconds on Looney. And, he didn't get called for it one time. So I think it happened 2 possessions in a row. About 6 seconds every single time. 2 times in a row. The third time, I actually started counting out loud. 1001, 1002, 1003. Got to 1006. And everybody around me is turning and looking at me, nodding like, yeah, you're right. I mean, he's blatantly in the key. He's not coming out at all. He's right in the middle of it. He's not even close to the edge. I mean, it completely changes the game. I mean, if he has to come out, that opens up lanes for cutters. He doesn't have as many opportunities for rebounds. It completely changes the game.
Yeah, we're going to have to find out about that.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I think it's a controversy if that's the case. Mm-hmm. And I know that's not a great answer. I'm just trying to do logic over emotion right now. I'm not saying that caller didn't see that. I'm not saying that he wasn't in the key longer than 3 seconds, but
why did the league and
why was this not brought up? All right, one more, and then we're going to get back to everything. Hello, Rocky. Hello, Rocky.
Hi, Rocky.
Hey, Rocky. Hey, Rocky. There you go.
Oh yeah, sorry. How you doing?
Right.
Yeah, this is Rocky calling in from Vallejo. Hey, I just want to tell you, Mike Brown obviously did an excellent job in Game 6. Great strategy, going small. But if you notice, he didn't go small enough. Trey Lyles should have been in there a lot more. And they were not pushing the ball. They could have won this game. He stuck with Davis. And obviously, Steph Curry was cooking Davis. He should have won with Mitchell. He made some mistakes. He's coach of the year, no doubt, and he made great improvements. But he outcoached Steve Kerr Game 6, but he got outcoached Game 7. He should have stuck with the same game plan and mixed in Mitchell more. And when you have a great player, he's cooking. You got to change the defender on him. This has been done throughout the history of the NBA. He stuck with Davis too long, and Curry was cooking him. And that was a mistake on Brown. Hopefully he learns. And then they got to bring someone in to help Sabonis. I know he was the leader in rebounding in the NBA, but he needs to learn how to rebound in the playoffs. There's a difference. So maybe bring in a Dennis Rodman or, someone like that in history, a great rebounder, to teach Sabonis how to rebound in the playoffs.
Hey, Rocky, what would you say real quick? No, I'll let you finish it. Just for the audience, what do you think the biggest difference is between rebounding in the regular season and rebounding in the playoffs?
Well, there's a fight, there's a desire, there's an animal instinct, you got to, like another caller mentioned, how many times did Sabonis get the ball slapped out when he had the ball in his hand? These things, you got to bring in someone, like in NFL, they bring in great players. They do a lot more coaching than NFL, and the NBA needs to take that on. And so a guy like Sabonis needs to take on a little bit more harder coaching, bring in some, like a former player for Sabonis.
I wonder if, thank you for the call, Rocky. I mean, again, I don't want to sound like a Domantas Sabonis stand excuse maker, but he has a broken hand.
Yeah.
And the answer to that, of course, is, well, stupid. He had a broken hand all season long, and he won the rebounding title.
Right.
I don't know that rebounding changes. I think what happens is that you can box out a boxer outer. You know what I'm saying? You can basically double a guy like Sabonis, and Kevon Looney was just an absolute monster in this series. He's a monster.
Certain rebounds in a regular season, like, that's going to take a lot of work to go get that one. But now it's postseason. I've got to go get that rebound. And maybe that's what Looney was doing a little bit of. The caller also mentioned something I found that was stunning. I didn't even realize it until the end of the game, and it was talked about in the post game. Fast break points in Game 7, 2-0 Kings. With the Kings and the Warriors, it was 2-0. Yeah, does that even seem possible? Fast break points.
That does not seem possible.
And obviously the Warriors I won't even say slow it down. They just didn't push to get transition and really wanted to make the Kings defend in the half court, and the Warriors cooked them. But the Kings didn't have the pace, and again, we're not confusing like overall pace of like 30 fast break points, but it didn't seem like they had that same push. That was crazy. A 2-0 fast break point game.
That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Stunning.
Wow. 2-0?
Mm-hmm. For these two teams.
I also wonder too, Jason. I also wonder how much the amount of 3-pointers the Golden State Warriors take dictates the offensive rebounds they get. Logic would dictate that the longer the shot, the longer the carom on the miss, the better the chance of the offensive team getting the rebound versus down low, you're boxed out, ball's coming down. You've got, I don't have those numbers in front of me, but I can tell you that the Warriors attempted and have attempted more 3-pointers in the playoffs than any other team, ahead of the Bucks, and the Kings are number 3. And I just wonder how much, let's put it this way. I don't think Domantas Sabonis has the same, not that Anthony Davis is any slouch. I wonder if Anthony Davis is actually weirdly a better matchup for Sabonis than Kevon Looney is.
It could be.
Because of the way the Golden State shoots.
Yeah.
And the way Kevon Looney is.
Yeah.
I think it's a completely different series for Sabonis.
Yeah, and the other part, too, is here's where I give credit to the Warriors. They made it a game plan from game 1 clearly to try to take Domantas Sabonis out of the game. I think they would do their best on Fox, but said, look, the true impact of the Kings' number 1 offense is when it's free-flowing and going through Sabonis.
Sure, yep.
And so now that, to me, is why this becomes an important offseason for Domantas Sabonis. All the great things he did during the regular season, the great year, he has to figure out, okay, what are the counters now? And that may not happen as much in the regular season when there's less prep for games, but next postseason, if the Kings are in it and they're playing a team, I'm sure there's going to be, hey, look, we got to cut this guy off the most we can. And so he now has to figure out those counters.
1-800-920-1140. As we go to break, one comment here. I don't even know who said it. It was BMO saying to Earl, pretty sure we don't know who Sasha Vezenkov is. Listen, I don't talk a lot about Sasha, not because we don't know who he is, but because this is kind of a thought process we had when we were bad. I don't like the whole that guy's the savior thing.
Right.
Like, Sasha Vezenkov may come over here, and at best, odds are, he's Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not just saying that because he's a foreign type player. I'm saying he comes over from the Euro League and he provides us more outside shooting. He's not a defender. He's at best a sniper, a guy who can create his own shot. But I just don't want, if he does come over, this much pressure being on the guy, or for people to think, well, this is the missing piece to the championship. We want to talk about Sasha, we can talk about him this summer, but no, we've been aware of Sasha Vezenkov for a long, long time. Also been aware of Fire Wings for a long, long time, too. 21 different flavors to choose from. Guess what? Fire Wings was on the menu Friday night. And congratulations to my son. Broke his previous record. 24. 24 wings in one sitting for my son, including a couple of those super spicy hot buffalo ones. Get the ramen, get the tots. There's flavors for everyone. Specials going on all the time. Fire Wings locally owned, locally operated. You can order right now. Order your Fire Wings right now. Have them delivered. Or just go pick them up later today. You don't want to cook on a Monday. Why do that? Go to firewings.com. Find the location nearest you. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Hey, Fire Wings. Just wing it. Let's get to some audio. We haven't heard from anyone today. We'll get to your calls. We'll hear from Coach Brown, De'Aaron Fox, DeMontis Sabonis, and more. It's all coming up right after this at Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Thinking that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And before you know it, the kids will be out of school for summer. But here's a little secret. At Bell Brothers, we never let our technicians out of school.
Nope. We require them to attend both hands-on and classroom training for a minimum of 3 hours a week, every week, for as long as they work for the company.
That's 150 hours a year. Regardless of how much experience they have or how long they work for the company, technology constantly changes in this industry, and we want our techs to be as current as possible.
We also train on customer service and communication skills to make sure you have a pleasant experience. We have dedicated training facilities and full-time trainers.
We don't leave anything to chance, which is why our technicians never get out of school. Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule an $87 precision tune-up. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge,
I want to be that song.
and so many more. Plus, a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort, Hanley's Western Wear, and Quick Pack Car Wash.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The folks at M&S Auto know that inflation is tough on everybody. If you need an excellent, gently used car or truck, M&S has hundreds of vehicles on the lot on El Camino just off the Cap City Freeway. M&S customers get great deals and they save thousands. Get a great deal now on super clean 4x4s, including Tacomas, Silverados, and Jeeps, and muscle cars, Challengers, Teslas, Mustangs, and even the occasional McLaren. M&S Auto, msautogroup.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. Good morning with your Sactown Sports headlines. I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings looked to advance to the second round of the NBA playoffs for the first time since 2004, but it wasn't to be.
Kings fans, those that weren't standing for the final minutes, come to their feet. They will salute their heroes as the Warriors will just count down the final seconds. 10 seconds left in this season for Sacramento. The 38th year of the Kings in California's capital city. It will end in disappointment. A Game 7 opportunity goes in the direction of the Warriors.
Golden State won by a final score of 120-100, due largely in part to 50 points from Steph Curry. That was the most in a Game 7 in NBA history. Our Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli, will be joining us at 9 a.m. to break down Game 7 from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. In NFL draft news, the San Francisco 49ers moved up in the third round to the 87th pick via a trade with the Minnesota Vikings and took safety Jair Brown out of Penn State, helping shore up their secondary. You can read all about the 49ers draft picks right now at SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
Kings fan sounding off your phone calls. Hello, Mikey.
Hey, what's going on, my man?
How are you, brother?
What's going on, brother? Good, brother. I'm a Kings fan. My family works for the Kings, right? But I'm actually a Lakers fan. But I support the local town. What we're not addressing here is how awful Herter was. Awful. He had zero. I know he comes on here once a week. I get that.
That doesn't matter.
Herter was awful. He was awful. Absolutely awful. And it's not really being addressed because everyone wants to dog on Sabonis. I get it. Sabonis got bullied. I see that. We need to get Sabonis a little bit of help. Herter was awful with the Hawks in the playoffs. He was awful this entire series.
Herter was on fire. What was it? Game 6.
There was the thing in Game 7, Kevin.
So, I knew you were going to stick up for him, which is okay.
No.
Just wrong on the first part.
Just saying with the Hawks. The only thing I took exception to so far was you talking about how he was awful in the playoffs with the Hawks. He actually wasn't. He definitely had a tough series.
Yeah, I think the Kings need to look at that. I don't agree with two callers ago that I think, when you're playing Steve Kerr and the Warriors, don't forget, Steph Curry missed 38 games this year. The Warriors were not healthy all year long. They're not a 6 seed. I
agree with that.
They are not a 6 seed. And people keep forgetting that they weren't healthy all year. And they got healthy. And I think the Kings played their tails off. I really, really do. I think Mike Brown coached his tail off. But people are forgetting Steph Curry missed 38 games this year. 38 games. They're not the same team they were in the regular season. I think we got to get Sabonis, somebody next to Sabonis that can help. With a caller that keeps griping on Looney being in the key, go box somebody out, man. I don't like these. Go box somebody out, man.
Well, and also thank you for the call, Mikey. We just have so many other people to get to. Got some clarification. When your guy has the ball, in that case, Looney and Sabonis at the top of the key, he can stay in the key as long as he wants. So that's part of it, I think. Also, and we're gonna have a long time to talk about individual performances, and we will, I promise you, get to Kevin Herter in extended length. Kevin's shooting was atrocious from behind the arc in the series, 20%. Overall field goal percentage, 34.5. I thought what was interesting is I believe he led the team in blocks. He had 2 in Game 7, 2 in Game 6, 1 in Game 4, 1 in Game 3, 2 in Game 2, and 1 in Game 1. He did get double figures 3 of the 7 games. I think Kevin Herter's biggest contribution in this series, that if you're going to grade Kevin Herter and say he had a rough series, I'm not here to argue that. I just want his matchup on Klay Thompson to be acknowledged as part of his series as well. Offensively, huge struggle. I thought Kevin Huerter actually had a really good defensive series. Not completely. I know there's people out there right now pulling their house, go, well, hold on, he got beat here, he got beat. I hear you. But overall, I think the job he did on Klay Thompson and others was a net positive compared to the rest of the team. I think that was the bright spot, to be honest, for him. But his outside shooting was not to Kevin Huerter standards whatsoever.
None of it was for the regular season. No. Him included, he was a huge part of that. And I think part of the other series breakdown, when you go through all 7 games, I would say there were more games in the series that we would finish it, and you could look at it and say the list of Warriors that played better was longer than the list of Kings that played better.
Yes.
And the Kings won a lot of games this season because we would do that. We'd come in the next day and go, well, Fox and Sabonis were awesome, but how about Huerter and Mitchell? Or how about Murray and Monk and Lyles? Like you might have 3, 4, 5 guys that were really good, and there weren't enough games of that. Honestly, I think Fox was pretty tremendous all the way through, and there weren't enough games where we said Huerter was great or Barnes was great or Mitch. That didn't happen, and the Kings got to look at that.
1-800-920-1140. Good morning, Trey.
What's going on, guys? How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. You?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So I just got a couple things, man. I know everybody's kind of down right now. Like this weather's a little gloomy, but I want to highlight some bright spots, man. We lit that beam 51 times this year, including the playoffs, man. You know what I mean? We gotta give it up for that. 1, 2. 9 months ago, we just wanted to get to the playoffs and stop the drought. You know what I mean? And we've done that. I think we had a really good year. Of course, it's not not easy to be optimistic right now, but I just feel like we had a great season, man. We got to tip our hats to the guys. They did great. I feel like, of course, we're on the way back to doing good things again. I think we'll be back next year. We face the defending champs, and I agree with I don't agree with a lot the last caller said, but I agree. He said Steph missed 35 games this year. They aren't a 6th seed.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
So, I mean, and I didn't think about that until he said it. So that was a good thing that he said. But like I said, I want to be on a positive note, man. We lit that beam 51 times, and we had a good run. We broke the drought, and I was telling I'm 29. I was telling my brother, man, since I've been an adult, this is the most fun I've had in Sacramento these last 2 weeks. Just going on a Tuesday, going downtown and looking at the beam, or going to a bar, or on a random Wednesday. So I mean, this is great for the city of Sacramento. Everybody keep your heads up, man, and let's have a good one, man. Make some good signings and let's do some positive things, man. Go Kings. Sacramento.
I appreciate. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Appreciate that. Seriously, good call.
Yeah.
Will, good morning. Will.
Hello.
Will, hi.
Oh, hi there. Thanks for taking my call. I just watching the series, and I think the Warriors won because they figured out the bonus. He's a high post, pass first center, and they simply stopped respecting his jumper at all. And Sabonis, even though he was wide open a lot of the time, he did not shoot it often enough, and he didn't shoot it well enough. And people have been talking about 3-second violations, but bottom line is they didn't respect his jumper, and this allowed Looney to sit back in the passing lanes and disrupt the entire flow of the offense and get 1 million rebounds. And I just can't stop thinking that if Sabonis had a shoot-first mode that he can go into and effectively shoot that 18-foot jumper, that it would really change the dynamic of the whole game.
Well, and thank you for the call. I think what a lot of people might be surprised at is that Domantas Sabonis shot a little over 14 times on average in this series. His average time shooting per game is somewhere around 12. So he actually shot slightly more than he did during the regular season. Yeah. I think the problem, well, I know that shot 49.5%, which is a respectable percentage normally.
Yeah, not for him, though.
Not for him. This is a guy that's shooting dang near 60% on the season.
Yeah, he wants to be right down on the block, right down in the action. Those shots that he's left open are for a reason. They think he won't make that consistently enough or take them enough. And I think it's difficult to change kind of who you are in series, even if it's out of necessity. But you got to remember, there's another team on the other side thinking this is our plan too. This is what they decided to craft around him. Yeah. I think the Warriors did a good job of that.
Oh, I think they did a phenomenal job. Sean, good morning.
Good morning, guys. First comment is I just want to make, dude, as the season ticket holder, this team actually brought back a lot of the fan base, which was, like success. And it sucks what happened yesterday, but I just want to get that out of the way first, that it was a fantastic ride to go on, although the ending was completely horrible. Second thing, I know Steph was going to cook yesterday, but Mike Brown going with Terrence Davis as his first guard off the bench and making him guard Steph in the first quarter is when he really got going. And I'm not saying that he wouldn't have gotten 50 if Davion was covering him, but I felt like he got really hot and he never stopped, right? And who knows if Mike Brown would have put Davion on it first, of what would have happened. Two more quick points. Actually, one more quick point. The best part about yesterday, is we'll probably never have to see Harrison Barnes in a Kings uniform again. And that's it. But all right, guys, I'll take care.
All right, thank you, Sean. I'm willing to say that if Davion Mitchell had played on Steph Curry a lot more minutes, he would not have had 50.
I agree.
I don't have any issue with thinking that. And that is settling into being my most burning question. Why did Davion Mitchell, what did he play, 8 minutes yesterday?
8 minutes.
Why? He's your best defender. Why? We'll take a break. And I'm sure there's an analytic to support it when we come back. Who's hot, who's not? Are we still streaking? Has Jay continued his big streak? And the final recap of a Sacramento Kings 3 in the key. A very sad and special segment. Parental guidance suggested. I don't know. Coming up right after this.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy.
Purdy going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Ace fans need Friday night plans? Well, we got you covered. Get 4 tickets and parking for any Friday night game starting at just $49 with the Friday 4-pack presented by Chevrolet. Save big and enjoy great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more this 2023 season.
He drills one to right, way back, and no doubt, and that quickly the A's have taken the lead. Second deck.
Friday night tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in Radio Land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is bringing you Larry the Cable Guy.
It's a cool anniversary. This is my 27th year in the comedy business. And it's my 5th year being funny, so I'm excited about both of them, all right?
Saturday, May 6th at Gold Country Casino Resort. 2 shows at 7 and 9:30 p.m. Larry the Cable Guy.
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Must be 21 or older.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot.
And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Air and Solar, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
Gentlemen.
I know who's not, but who's not?
Well, we are going to leave the off-air conversations off the air. Steph Curry. Yeah, we got to talk about this.
Do we have to?
We get to. In the first round, Steph had 34 rebounds, 34 assists, 34 threes, 34 free throws, and 34 points per game.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, that is bananas. I love little mathematical stats.
Did he have 34 turnovers?
No, not quite.
Yeah,
34
wins.
No.
Yeah, you know what, though? Aisha Curry's cookware sucks. How about that? Got her.
You bought it?
No, but I read reviews on Amazon when I was looking at it.
When you were what?
I was looking at cookware.
When you were
they had a deal on it, and then I read the reviews, and I realized why.
Wow.
Got her. Who's not?
Hey, you should make that video that they put out with the kids about making fun of the Kings fans. You should do the same with your kids about making fun of her cookware.
Because they have no fans. Who's not?
The Bucks and the Bruins. Now, I know that's very obvious on the surface, but there's some context here. So the Bruins and Bucks had the best record in their respective sports and both lost in round one. This is the second time that the teams with the best NHL and NBA regular season records have each lost in round one. It happened in 2012 when the Canucks and the Bulls did it.
Well, yeah. The same thing. They're about 3 seeds losing to 6 seeds.
No, it does not. There's no history made there.
Just happened.
It just happened. All right. We want a streak or we want 3 of the keys?
Let's streak.
Go streaking.
We're going streaking! Yeah!
Who is the Nostradamus of MLB? Who can keep the streak going? It's time to go streaking.
What the hell are you doing? We're streaking!
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 All right, let's revisit what we did on Friday.
You know what? I gotta be honest though. Yesterday sucked. Today sucks. This week's gonna suck. If there is a bright side, it's getting to talk more baseball now.
Yes.
I am ready.
And now you're ready to streak.
Love it. Ready to streak.
By the way, you were correct about your prediction about Mexico City being like, that was Coors Field on steroids.
Dude, that was redonk. Like, just, there's a fly ball to shortstop, and it's gone. Yeah, back to you, Jay.
Dave, you were trying to get to a one-game hit streak.
Yes, I was.
With It's a Deep Fly Ball, Nick Castellanos. He didn't get a hit.
Yeah.
So you're still at 0.
Screw you, Nick.
I was trying to get to a one-game hit streak. I went to the Los Angeles Dodgers' Freddie Freeman. And he got me a hit.
Hey!
So, Dave, you're at 0. I'm at 1. But everybody's been asking. Did Jay Mars set a new show record?
You know what? Somebody actually came up to me yesterday and asked me that exact question.
Yeah, see, he was at 6. He and I have the tied for the most hits. So if he gets a hit Friday, he has a new record of 7. He went with an Oakland A. This is bold. But it was Brett Rooker who got, I think, Jay 3 hits.
Yes.
Wow.
So Jay is officially streaking. He is at 7.
Joe DiMaggio, where have you gone?
Just 50 away from Joe.
Just 50 away.
Who needs a hooker when you got Rooker?
That's what they say.
That's what they say in Oakland.
So, Dave, you're at 0, starting anew. I'm at 1, trying to get to 2, and Jay's looking for 8.
Okay. I'm going to go back to the well here. He has yet to let me down all year long. Facing the Red Sox, our old friend, Matt Chapman.
Matty?
Back in the W column.
You just want to make sure you get on board, huh?
You're darn right.
All right. I am going to go with a San Diego Padre, former Red Sox, Xander Bogaerts.
That's Xander.
Yeah.
X-Man.
Better Xander, Bogaerts or Schauffele?
Schauffele.
Yeah.
Bogaerts.
Wow, controversy.
Holyfield.
Xander. Xander Holyfield. Damn it, Jason. Jay Mars.
Jay got a good giggle.
You got him. You got him.
Jason and I will also be going to a Wells Private Parts, San Diego.
Oh, well, yeah.
But I'll be taking Juan Soto tonight.
Ooh.
Juan Soto.
Juan Soto for 8 if Jay gets a hit. How about that? That's impressive. Good work, Jay.
Thank you.
Juan Soto.
Known for my streaking.
Married Princess Leia.
That's actually...
Are you high?
No.
Wow. How are the edibles? Yeah.
That was the delivery I've been looking for like 4 years out of you. Just off the cuff, no setup, just boom.
Do we keep pushing it, Dave? See if we're on a roll?
I think he's just being nice because of Game 7.
No, that was good.
Those were hearty laughs.
That was good.
All right. 3 of
and
the
you
Kings.
know I hate to compliment
I know.
you.
That's why I'm wondering if I have a disease. Did something happen here? You know something I don't? What's coming?
We'll talk off air.
All right. 3 of the Key right now. Brought to you by nobody. That's right. Nobody.
It's our final one.
It is.
We're recapping.
One last time.
And because we didn't know if there'd be a Game 7, we just we predicted Game 6.
Yes, we did.
Which, again,
smart on us.
One of the great games the Sacramento Kings team has ever played. More so than Game 7, for sure. So we recapped. I was asking that day, what would be the free throw numbers for the Sacramento Kings? Free throw makes and attempts.
Okay.
Dave, you said 24 of 28.
I did.
I said 16 of 21. And Jay said 36 of 40. We were on a conspiracy.
Close.
You know, the league wants 7 games.
They do.
Well, the Kings were 21 of 25 unofficial. I believe, Dave, you take that one down.
So, yeah, I did.
Well done.
All right. 1-0.
All right. As for the top 2 scorers, Dave, you said Monk would have 30 and Keegan Murray would have 24.
Mm-hmm.
I said Fox would have 24, Monk would have 19. And Jay, you went Sabonis 35.
Hey.
Murray 24.
Hey.
The correct answer was Monk 28, Fox 26. I had the right 2 guys. Not that close in school. Well, not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Good
but he
job.
was close on Monk, though.
I was close.
And as close on Sabonis.
Yeah.
Keegan
Sure.
Yeah. Good job, Jason Ross.
Yeah. And then the last one, call your shot. How'd we do here? Well, Dave, you said Herter would go for 20 or more in the game.
Yeah.
He didn't.
He did not.
Kevin Herter in Game 6.
He had a couple.
I don't even know where I put the box.
He had some scores.
Let me find it. Kevin Herter had
13.
12. Yeah. And he stuck with that. Late in the game, hit a bunch of big
yes,
shots.
He did. 3 big ones in the second half.
My bold prediction was Alex Len would have the block of the year.
Yeah, he did.
Alex Len did not play. And
did.
Jay Mars made it short and sweet. He said, there will be a Game 7.
He did.
Jay Mars.
Jay Mars,
well done.
How they doing Game 7?
That doesn't really matter. We didn't predict it, so we don't know.
I believe we all won one, did we not?
Yeah. It's the right way to go out.
Yeah, it's the right way to go out. We finish off.
Team effort, guys.
You know what? Teamwork makes the beam work.
Yeah. Were you happy that we told you, Jay, and I finally told you that about 20 games into 3 in the Key that we snookered you that one time?
Was I happy?
Yeah. Because you kept saying, like, man, Jay, we got to stop this game.
The really crappy thing about that is that, like, Kyle and I did a bit very similar to that for hockey years ago. So, like, and then I got by the thing that we got. Yeah, exactly. Was I happy? Yes, because I felt like every single time I brought that up, you guys had a little private laugh.
We did.
Yeah, I mean, not to be mean, but you're kind of easy to got.
Wow. You know what's always funny?
There's still things going on that you're getting got about right now that you have no idea.
What's hilarious is like, yeah, exactly. Shut up, Chris. Not to be mean, but you're an idiot. Like the whole, like, all due respect or not to be right.
I'm not gonna disrespect or no disrespect, but
yeah, right. Like, it still matters. Like, it's still the crappy thing that you're saying doesn't get erased by not to be mean or no.
I disagree.
Not to kick you in the junk,
but
I just kicked you in the junk.
It doesn't soften it? No.
All right, we
will not take a break.
We'll not take a break because we still have a few minutes. And
this is dangerous.
Well, we do need to get to some audio.
You want me to play the bed?
You want to play the bed?
You want to do a collage? Let me know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Curry in a deep crouch with the dribble alive, working against Fox. Rolls to the right, finds Looney. Reset, back to Curry, straight away for three, and he hits his first three-pointer. That puts the Warriors back on top. Curry across the logo with a moving screen from Draymond. To the elbow, floater Curry forced it, no good. Sabonis rebounds to Fox. Accelerates into the front court, slows with a high dribble. Finds Sabonis crashing down the lane, scores it. He got banged on the head on the way, but he now has 14, and the Kings, for a third time this afternoon, have a 5-point lead. It's 56-51. Drives inside, kicks to the near corner. Lyles locked and loaded for three, no good. Sabonis, offensive rebound, shovels to Davis. To Fox, falling out of bounds, saves it to Sabonis. Sabonis dribble handoff to Davis. Back to Sabonis, digs in on Draymond. Turns, scores. Left hand, low post left. 16 points for Sabonis. 9 of the 16 in this quarter. Kings Warriors in a commanding 12-point lead. Curry works the left angle. Drives it, scoops it high window, scores it. Biggest lead of the ball game for Golden State at 95-81, and things are starting to look pretty bleak here for Sacramento. Klay Thompson to Draymond Green, hands to Curry. Steph drives inside, twister for the reverse. Add 2 more to his tally. How about Steph Curry with a 40-point ball game? Curry, corner three. He's got 48 in the ball game. 107-85. Biggest separation of the afternoon. Sabonis, strong screen and roll feed from Malik Monk. He answers with 2 back, but it's still the Warriors by a ton. They're up 20 at the moment. It's all but officially over here in Sacramento. It's 113-91. Fox for 3. There's another 3-point miss. 1 for 18 now from downtown. Curry beats a double team trap, goes inside, scoops and scores. And Steph Curry has a 50-point ball game. Kings fans, those that weren't standing for the final minutes, come to their feet. They will salute their heroes as the Warriors will just count down the final seconds. 10 seconds left in this season for Sacramento. The 38th year of the Kings in California's capital city. It will end in disappointment. A Game 7 opportunity goes in the direction of the Warriors. And it's Steve Kerr's championship club's 4 championships in the last 8 years that will continue their postseason adventure as they will be facing off with the Los Angeles Lakers game number 1 on Tuesday night.
All right, we'll take a break. Had to do it at some point. When we come back, okay,
now Jason's sad.
You made Jason sad with your music.
You made Jason sad.
You played the music.
You told me to play it. I am the producer. I produce.
I disagree.
Okay. Wow. Speaking of kicks in the junk,
Frankie Cardicelli joins us. I will hold Jason like a baby and tell him everything is going to be okay when we come back.
It's Cattles and Rami.
I'm going with one of the ones that gets on my nerves is this guy plays through the whistle. He plays through the whistle. No, he doesn't. Simone.
He's got great football IQ,
That's
ladies and gentlemen.
All right. I'm next. He's a hard hat guy. Yeah.
Yep.
He puts his hard hat on and he goes to work, Rami.
Lunch pail guy. Yeah, I had hard hat and lunch pail.
Yeah.
First on my draft board.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Cordell.
Everyone knows Elk Grove Kia is home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new Kia. But did you also know that Elk Grove Kia is your one-stop place for used cars? I'm talking over 300 used cars available. With Kia's certified program, with its 165-point quality assurance inspection, we know peace of mind on used cars is important. And that's why we also offer extended service agreements on all our used makes and models. Most prices are under Kelley Blue Book retail. New car protection at used car prices. From used sports cars to used delivery vans, we got them all at Elk Grove Kia. And our financing folks have over 100 years of combined experience. So we approve just about everyone. No credit, little credit, bad credit, no problem. And Elk Grove Kia is proud of our don't like it, bring it back guarantee for up to 3 days or 150 miles, no questions asked. Why would you buy your used car anywhere else? So check us out online at elkgrovekia.com today.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
Depression, anxiety, and trauma can happen to anyone. You aren't alone. 1 in 5 of us will have a mental health issue in our lifetime. And just like other illnesses, people who get support and treatment find healing and hope. Check in with someone you're worried about. And if you're feeling pain, ask for help. There's no shame in taking care of yourself or the people you care about. Be there for someone who's hurting, even if that someone is you. Learn more at StopStigmaSacramento.org.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
KHTK AM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your local sports leader in the 916. This is Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Mars. The Sacramento Kings looked to advance to the second round of the NBA playoffs for the first time since 2004, but it wasn't to be.
Kings fans, those that weren't standing for the final minutes, come to their feet. They will salute their heroes as the Warriors will just count down the final seconds. 10 seconds left in this season for Sacramento. The 38th year of the Kings in California's capital city. It will end in disappointment. A Game 7 opportunity goes in the direction of the Warriors.
Golden State won by a final score of 120-100, due largely in part to 50 points from Steph Curry. That was the most in a Game 7 in NBA history. Our Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli, will be joining us at 9 a.m. to break down Game 7 from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. In NFL draft news, the San Francisco 49ers moved up in the third round to the 87th pick via a trade with the Minnesota Vikings and took safety Jair Brown out of Penn State, helping shore up their secondary. You can read all about the 49ers draft picks right now at SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then
boom, with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
During the break, I went back. I was busy doing the highlights. I went back and looked on the YouTube feed. I don't know if we should put that out as an isolation or not, but that music playing with the highlights and just like zoom in on Jason the whole time. That was. I wasn't trying to do that to you. You were all of us. You were the avatar for all of us. And I don't know why I just started laughing during that whole bit too. That was not a funny bit.
I stared into the soul of the fans.
You did. And they stared right back into your soul.
Feel it.
Speaking of soul staring, somebody we always enjoy doing that with. SactownSports.com, lead writer, insider, Kings, and all things else. And no mustache.
No.
Hello, Frankie.
No mustache.
I talked it up earlier, Frankie.
What'd you say?
I said, Frank, we learned yesterday, or I learned on the pre-show that you were going to grow a mustache if the Kings had won, and I was really excited for that.
I can
round 2 mustache.
I can still grow one if you really want me to. And I was saying
Dave?
maybe it'll be a sadness stash.
100%.
A sad stash.
Or a summer stash.
Okay. I
So the next Kings game.
A sad
sad stash.
Sad
I think
stash, yeah.
That's the best way I think it'll work.
That's fine. I would like that. Could you do the whole like meh?
It
didn't work for people listening, by the way. I'm talking about like the circle beard.
The Carmichael Dave.
Yes.
The Carmichael Dave. I probably could if I wanted to, but I just don't know if I want. I don't think I can pull that off. Wow. I can't pull that off.
Oh, I got you.
No, I can't pull facial hair. Like I can't. I just can't.
But you said you had a mustache before.
It was not well received.
Not a healthy mustache.
No, and like I think if it was 1990 or 1985, maybe it looked pretty good. But right now, I don't know if it's quite in the. I don't think having a mustache is really that cool anymore. Maybe that's a hot take, but I just don't.
You're also an adorable young man too.
Okay.
People say that all the time, and so like I grow facial hair to cover my face. You don't necessarily need that. You can get away with being clean shaven. That's why people don't like it.
I also don't have a choice. Like if I try to grow a beard out, it just comes in under the neck and it becomes a neck beard, and that's just not a very good look.
You know who has the worst? Let me see if you guys can guess. You know who's the worst facial hair in Kings media and has had that title for a long time?
In Kings media?
By far.
Who?
It's not close.
Wait a minute. I don't know. Seriously?
You're going to know when I say it. I feel like when I say it, you're going to be like, oh, yeah.
Do you have anybody you're thinking of?
I don't want to say a name.
Okay.
I'm gonna let him say the name.
Feel so bad and he'll admit it too. Sean Cunningham, poor Sean.
Oh, you know what? He's admitted that to me before.
Oh yeah,
that he can't grow a beard.
He knows it. Like Sean has tried to connect his mustache to his chin beard forever. Like it's been a thing. Like where he'll like try to pull it down. He can't connect at all. It's very patchy.
You know, I can't either. I'm right there with him. I'm right there with him.
All right. Doing everything we could to avoid it. But
I know.
I guess we should talk about. Hey, your thoughts. Let me ask with this one. I'll give you a tough one. Would you rather be talking about a win today?
I'm gonna go with yeah. I think it'd be kind of nice to talk about. I mean, right now the three of us would be planning out our trip to Los Angeles.
There's a behind the scenes there because I was mentioning earlier with coverage yesterday. I was going to do a 2-hour post game show, but I wouldn't let anybody say if the Kings win. It had to be if the Warriors lose because I feel like that's really superstitious. And we were talking because we had to. There was no way we couldn't do this. We were talking with Brian, our boss, and some other people behind the scenes about if the Kings won, like literally we were going to have to buy tickets and Airbnb and stuff. Like last night we were going to have to do it. And I felt weird having those conversations at all. And well, we don't have to, you know what? Good news is we're saving some money.
We're saving some money. And yeah, it did feel weird. In my post game, my write-ups, I had two things ready. I had an off-season schedule written up, and then I had a first round schedule written up, and just writing Sacramento Kings versus, I don't want to keep twisting the knife in everybody, but it was very weird reading it, what the first round schedule would, or second round schedule would be. And sure enough, we're looking at the next thing on the Kings offseason schedule as the NBA draft. So
as you look at yesterday, what's your best reasoning as to what happened in the second half? I mean, there's layers to it, but just as you saw it live, you heard post-game reaction, Frankie, where did it truly derail on the Kings?
I think it was what we've seen all series long, which is the offensive rebounding. And again, that's aside from Steph Curry just being generational, incredible. What we saw yesterday was one of the most incredible NBA playoff performances in NBA history. And aside from that, I'm not even using that as a main reason why the Kings lost. I'm looking at the offensive rebounding, that the Warriors, they entered the second half with 2 offensive boards. I'm sure you guys have already talked about this, but 13 offensive rebounds in the second to open the second half in that third quarter. And I think Draymond Green said on his podcast that you could see the life coming out of the Kings with every single one. It really rattled them. And I completely agree. It really did. It took the Kings out of the game. It was so disheartening to see. And even on plays where the Kings were triple boxing out Looney and just putting everyone they could on him, Gary Payton II swoops in and grabs an offensive board, or they get a good bounce and it bounces out to Wiggins. It just was completely a change of pace, and the Kings had it wasn't a great first half, but it was a pretty good first half, and it just was a completely different pace, change of tone. The offensive rebounding to me is where this game changed, and then of course Steph Curry, he closed it out in the only way that we thought he would.
Yeah, that has to be a record, right? 13 in the third.
I'm sure it is. 13 for a game is great.
I'd be stunned.
Yeah. Which do you think would have hurt more? A 2 3-point loss, great game the whole way through, or what happened yesterday?
Well, I was talking to Christopher Laud back there because I said, I wasn't too beat up because I think this game was close going down to the wire. Oh my God, Steph Curry scores 9 straight points over the past minute. Kings lose by 4. That would have ripped my heart out. That would have ripped, I think, everyone's hearts out more. And while this is still a tough,
there was a runway to it.
To it. By the beginning of the fourth quarter, you kind of knew.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if maybe everyone out there was hopeful. My mom was texting me, and they're down by 18 with like 4 minutes left, and she was still, come on. I'm like, it's not going to happen. But you just kind of knew, and I think that made it. It was a cushion to the blow. And like you said, you don't want to see Steph go for 60 or keep going, but you kind of sit back and go, wow, we're seeing greatness, and it sucks it has to happen against the Kings.
I didn't hear all of Mike Brown, and Dave actually brought this up to me off air, and I don't know if this was asked, Frankie, but we've brought up the question about Davion not playing. You're without a doubt your best defensive player, playing 8 minutes, and I think most of those 8 minutes were when Curry was on the bench.
Yeah,
I think there's got to be a reason it was, and they did that in Game 6 too, quite a bit, and they won. But when the one guy who is the best player on the floor goes for 50 and your best defender doesn't guard him, was that asked to Coach Brown?
It wasn't asked. I'd imagine it will be this week. I think one of the days this week we will get to talk to Mike Brown one more time.
Because today's just players and exit interviews.
Today
right?
we just do the players. We do top 8 players in rotation. Then I think we get Mike and Monty later in the week, or a date to be soon. But it wasn't asked, and I think the only way I can kind of my hypothesis is they look to offense. They went offense versus defense, and they wanted more offense. I think with Davion Mitchell, I'm just guessing that what Mike Brown saw was you're seeing 4-on-5 on offense for the Kings, and that's just something that kept biting them in the end. And while Davion was playing good defense on Steph, it still wasn't enough to outweigh the lack of offense they were getting with him on the floor. I mean, in TD, he brought offense, but he didn't look. I mean, I know they get the defensive player of the game chain in Game 6, and he had some good defensive possessions. Sure, they said go use your 6 fouls, be aggressive until you get into foul trouble. Go use them, and it benefited the Kings in Game 6, no doubt. Last night had a great start on the offensive end, sure, but he was getting cooked on defense. It was not the same impact he had in Game 6. He was having a tough time guarding Steph. I was sure when Steph got hot in the third quarter, we'd see Davion, and it just didn't happen. So I would imagine we get some clarity on that this week, but my guess is they just went offense.
Frankie Cardicelli joining us. Frankie, another conversation we were having earlier. We're local media. That doesn't mean we don't criticize the team, but I don't know that we're going to get the same level nationally. And I haven't watched any national basketball analysis since the end of last night's game for obvious reasons, but I imagine this question is going to be asked. I'm going to ask you, and I want you to talk me out of the following, not talk me out. Talk out of the following statement. The Sacramento Kings at home in a Game 7 had a 2-point lead going into the second half. They were outscored 64-42. They had the best defensive player on the bench while Steph Curry went for 50. The Kings missed 11 free throws, and the Kings missed 35 of 47 three-pointers. Did the Kings choke yesterday?
Yeah. I think they did. I mean,
by definition,
I don't know how else you could categorize it. Yeah, I mean, they had a lead in the second half. They fell apart. I mean, the wheels came off, and there's a lot of reasons why that happened. But if I had to give a yes or no answer, yeah, they fell apart late in the game. I mean, what else is there to say?
Choke's a tough word too.
It's against a defending champion Warriors, a dynasty, and I'm not trying to have silver linings or moral victory. I get it.
The nicer way of saying it was the moment. Did the Warriors meet the moment far better than the inexperienced Kings?
Absolutely. They did what the Golden State Warriors have done for the better part of a decade. Simple as that.
Hey, you know what? Was wondering, can I ask you a quick question? Because we got a break. Would you mind sticking around for another segment?
Absolutely.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Okay.
He'll have a mustache when we come back.
Yes. More Frankie after this.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Hand off McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feels super, baby! The 5-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
on your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Nothing like a little journey to bring you back. Right here on Sactown. Oh, I got the eyebrow for that one.
What's wrong with, what was that for?
Yeah.
Panorama.
You know, I apologize.
Oh, yeah.
Frankie Cardicelli with us, Jason Ross, Carmichael Dave, Jay Mars, taking you all the way till 10 a.m. Kyle and Chris coming on. It's be an interesting position for Kyle.
Drapes?
Yes, because he...
Matson. Isn't it Kyle? It's Kyle Matson.
It's Kyle Matson, right?
Yeah.
Where's the Drapes? Oh, no.
Matson's here today.
That's right. Oh, I saw him earlier.
No, but he's not on.
See,
Oh,
I
he's
think
not?
he was
Oh,
joking.
is it Draper?
Can Jay clear this
Hey,
up?
Jay.
Which Kyle?
Which Kyle is on today? Because
the one that came in and was like, oh, Steph Kyle
Kyle
that
Matson.
one. Yeah, that guy.
One. But he did say, and I did kind of think he was joking, but that he was like, no, I'm not on today. So
okay,
it'd be tough for Kyle.
Gate.
Interesting, because he's coming into the Lions' den, and no matter what he says, this is where I kind of feel bad for Kyle. No matter what he says, someone's gonna be like, "What do you mean by?" He'd be like, "You know what? The Kings are an unbelievable team, and they're gonna be back. Stop condescending."
Dude, I like how he came in dressed as Switzerland.
Yeah.
Monarch's hat
and just the matchup,
right?
The matchup sweatshirt with all the logos. Frankie, obviously, it was a wonderful year. We asked this earlier. What in your mind would prevent the Kings from building? And do you expect them to build on this year and be even better next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I was telling Jason just off the air before, this is the most excited I've been for an upcoming season in a very long time. I think coming into this year, there were so many question marks, and that question of, can they compete for a play-in? That was the goal, I think, and maybe other people had larger goals, but I think if you took a vote around the area, what was your goal coming into the season for the Sacramento Kings? I think a top 10 spot, in 10 being the ideal finish for a team that has not been in that area in quite some time. A play-in berth would have been great. Now you have the core. You know what it's like to get to this point. You know what it's like to clinch the Pacific Division. You know what it's like to be home court in the playoffs. You know what it's like to have guys receive the accolades that the Kings have had. You have a core. Now you need to build around it. And you see the holes that the Kings have. They are getting killed on the offensive glass. Kevon Looney had a field day. What happens to the Kings when the three-point shooting fails? We saw what happened. De'Aaron Fox can't do it all by himself. Malik Monk can't do it all by himself off the bench. They need to round out this roster. What would keep that from happening again? I think a Rudy Gobert-esque move. I don't see Monty McNair pulling the trigger on a deal that would leverage the Kings' future in a similar fashion. Maybe there's some surprises out there. Maybe there aren't. I mean, there's some free agents in the books, obviously, are coming off the books. Harrison Barnes. What will they do with that situation? We're going to find out in the next month and a half. But I think that they're in a very good spot. And I don't think I'm not worried about them derailing anything. I feel confident.
We don't know what will be different of the roster. So if we assume for the most part, the roster is the same, I've got my eye on Keegan making another jump. I think that needs to happen to really help improve the team, but him or anyone else that you think can take another leap that will vault this team to another level.
Well, Keegan, I mean, he's number one as well. I mean, you see the leap he made just in the playoffs alone. I mean, from the difference between games 1 and 3 through 4 through 7, he was really good for them. And I think obviously last night wasn't his best performance, but just the rebounding as well. I think rebounding with Keegan has been such a huge, to me at least, a thing I've been keeping an eye on, how he was not rebounding that much at all to begin the season. And as soon as Mike Brown challenged him, just switch on a dime. And especially in the playoffs, I mean, he had multiple games. I think he had 7 or more rebounds in 4 straight games. He was really impactful. So obviously, I'm looking to see how Keegan can make a jump next year. I'm looking to see how De'Aaron Fox, can he go even further? Like, is this even his ceiling? I'm not sure if this is exactly his ceiling, what we saw this year, which is crazy to say. I think he can be even better. But also, I'm just looking to see what they do with the bench. I think Malik Monk was great for this team, and Trey Lyles as well. Seems like Trey Lyles wants to be back. I think the Kings would be interested in that as well, but they need a little more. They need more depth, especially in the rim protecting front. They need a true rim protector. They do not have one. I'm looking to see how they can improve in those avenues.
One thing that really caught me in this series, and it wasn't every game, but what's frustrating is the Kings at times played absolute elite team defense. Like, not just good, like absolute elite defense, which makes you wonder, do you just roll with that and take from this series their ability, or trust that that's not going to happen all year and refortify that? Because I don't think this entire starting lineup is going to be back next year. I don't think so. So how do you identify the biggest need, and how do you pull yourself into saying something like, maybe you don't want to say Frankie, which is, well, they need to upgrade from Harrison now, or maybe Malik needs to start for Herter. I don't know, whatever that may be.
Yeah, I mean, this is the time to make those decisions, you know, and I on the Harrison Barnes front, it does hurt to say. I think coming in the series, I was leaning towards the Kings for sure re-signing him, and playing 15, 16 minutes in back-to-back games, and when your back's against the wall, that's I mean, if that's not writing on the wall, I'm not sure what is. And that's a bummer. I think HB's been a huge part of his team for, you know, half a decade, and he's a great guy in the locker room. He's somebody who can make an impact on both ends of the floor. And my only thing with that is you have to be sure, if you're moving on from Harrison Barnes, you are upgrading, because it is we know the Kings have had a track record of struggling to find small forwards that can be impactful. I think over the past 20 years, Peja Stojakovic, Metta World Peace, Rudy Gay, Harrison Barnes. I mean, you've had 4 small forwards over the past 20 years that I would say are plus players at that position. You have to be sure. And
let me ask you this. In your mind, could Keegan Murray play 3 and you bring in a power forward?
Absolutely. Okay. And that was a conversation we were having last night in the media room. Is Keegan a 3? I think so. I think Keegan Murray is more suited to be a 3. Obviously, he did prove he can rebound at a power forward level, those 7-8 boards that we saw multiple times in the series. But I think his versatility as a scorer, I think he'd be better suited in a small forward position. And also, the physicality is great, but for a power forward, you need something a little different than what Keegan Murray brings to the table. And the Kings need to be sure they're going to be able to find better than Harrison Barnes and before they move on. And that's just going to be a tough thing to find, in my opinion.
They also have a draft choice, not the same as what they've been. It's not a lottery pick, but you feel like that could be someone that could be in the rotation potentially. And then free agency, I don't know where Monty's going to go there, how aggressive they'll be, knowing also what next summer, a year from this summer, they got a big decision or big payday coming for Sabonis.
Yeah, I mean, this offseason, you have some money to play with. I mean, especially if Harrison Barnes is not coming back, you have money to play with. I think a lot of Kings fans have become enamored with the Kyle Kuzma aspect of things. Will he pick up his player option? Who knows? I mean, there'll be names there that will probably pop up that we didn't expect. We all know how free agency works, but yeah, the draft, I'm going to dive into that as we're in offseason mode now. Yeah. So time to look into the draft, but you can absolutely find an impact player at 24. I mean, we've seen it happen for teams every single year. We've seen Kings second round picks that they trade away have gone on to be key rotation players like Gary Trent, Xavier Tillman. And what was the most recent one was Hardy.
Yeah.
Mavericks. A lot of impact players can be found late in the draft. 24 is a good spot in my opinion. So now's the time to kind of look into there and see what they can do.
And just kind of back to the previous conversation, if you are trying to augment the starting lineup, and if it was a Harrison Barnes or whatever that left, we talked about moving. Could Keegan Murray move to the 3? But do you think Mike Brown and Monty McNair have extra flexibility in the sense that not only could you possibly move Keegan to the 3, do you think they could also move Domantas Sabonis back to the 4, allowing them, for example, if Jakob Poeltl's available, I don't know, Naz Reid's available, and they make that move to slide Keegan up, or they slide Keegan up to the 3 to grab a 4. What I'm trying to say, guys, is could you see any scenario where they could add a 3 to start? Keep the 4 and the 5 the same. They could add a 4, move Keegan Murray up, leave Sabonis there. Or they could add a 5, move Sabonis back, move Keegan Murray up.
I wouldn't say anything's out of the question.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting to me just because of how things worked with the Pacers. I know the Miles Turner Sabonis experiment failed. I mean, every situation is different, and other players are obviously have different tendencies. And it wouldn't surprise me to see something like that happen. But I'm looking more to see what else they can do to surround Sabonis while he's at the 5 spot and who they can have at the 4. I know there's the talk of Sasha Vezenkov. Is he going to come over? I've heard that there is an avenue there, that there is mutual interest to make that happen. So will he be starting when he comes over? I wouldn't think so. I think he'd be someone to come off the bench, but you never know. I mean, you never know how high of a team is on him and what kind of opportunity they'll give him. He is someone who could be a stretch 4 for this team. But you need to upgrade. Like you said, Dave, I guess I would kind of be surprised at this point too if it was the whole starting 5 coming back, because we saw how they performed in the playoffs. Yeah. They have holes. And while the Kings had a tough draw, they drew the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry missed so much time this season. Andrew Wiggins missed time. They probably shouldn't have been the 60. They probably should have been higher. Maybe the Kings have a different end of the season, maybe a different story if that happens and they play the Clippers in the first round or somebody else. But they have holes, and we saw them pretty clearly in this series.
Of the exit interviews today, so I think you said the top 8 rotation, 9 guys, whatever, will be speaking to the media. Which one is the most intriguing to you, just in a sense of kind of getting answers? Really, it's probably more reflective of the series than the season, but whose interview do you want to hear the most?
I mean, I think a lot of us are kind of want to hear from HB. It might be the last time any of us get to hear from him as a member of the Kings, so that will be interesting to me. The really candid guys like Malik, I think he'll be pretty upfront and honest. Sabonis, actually, last year during his postseason press conference, he was very open, saying he wanted to be a part of the draft process with the Kings, and he was kind of an open book on that end. So I'm interested to see what he has to say, even though I know he's very brief with his media sessions. But he does, if you read through things the right way, you can see he does say some things, sometimes some headline grabbing details. But and then De'Aaron, who I think is always a great player in these kind of situations. So I'm looking at those guys, the main guys. But,
Herder will be intriguing too, because
Herder as well.
The series we expected.
Yeah, Herder as well. He definitely is somebody who never holds back. He's an open book. You guys know that more than anybody. Yeah. But I think more looking towards the Mike Brown and Monty McNair. Like me personally, I'm looking more forward to those and about those questions he talked about. Why TD over Davion? I guess we'll have to get those answers. But it's a bummer. I'll miss talking to you guys every Monday. I'll miss talking to you guys. So
you can still come in.
I can come in. Yeah. Baseball. I can hop on that.
You guys could do the Frankie and the Yankees.
Yeah.
Like you said. And I can go call my kids or something, do something during the break.
Sure.
Give me a segment off.
Sure.
Just, that's fine. Well, you did a great job today.
Yes.
What
Thanks, man.
You did a great job this season. What can people expect coming up from you on SactownSports.com?
More offseason coverage. I'll have some postseason thoughts coming out. Obviously, all the interviews from the players today will be coming up on the site over the next couple of days and on YouTube immediately. Baseball content, but I'll be hitting the Kings hard this summer, especially for draft time. But thanks, guys, for everything. I'll see you. I'll be on again, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. We'll be traveling again next year, hopefully for the playoffs, right?
Yep.
With a mustache.
Road trip buddies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll take a break when we come back.
Portland.
What to watch today? My favorite part of Portland, honestly, watching the game with Frankie.
Stop.
What to watch today?
Stop.
That's why you were crying.
And so much more. That's exactly why. We'll get to that when we get back.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, the A's have a great story in pitcher Mason Miller, diagnosed with juvenile diabetes in 2018. He got bigger and stronger, and by the time he made his big league debut on the last homestand against the Cubs, after only 28 2/3 innings in the minor leagues, he threw 15 pitches at 100 miles an hour or faster, topping out at 102.5. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment.
Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge, and so many more. Plus, a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort, Hanley's Western Wear, and Quick Pack Car Wash.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
Good morning with your Sactown Sports headlines. I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings looked to advance to the second round of the NBA playoffs for the first time since 2004, but it wasn't to be.
Kings fans, those that weren't standing for the final minutes, come to their feet. They will salute their heroes as the Warriors will just count down the final seconds. 10 seconds left in this season for Sacramento. The 38th year of the Kings in California's capital city. It will end in disappointment. A Game 7 opportunity goes in the direction of the Warriors.
Golden State won by a final score of 120-100, due largely in part to 50 points from Steph Curry. That was the most in a Game 7 in NBA history. In NFL draft news, the San Francisco 49ers moved up in the third round to the 87th pick via a trade with the Minnesota Vikings and took safety Jair Brown out of Penn State, helping shore up their secondary. You can read all about the 49ers draft picks right now at SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
I've seen a lot of guys.
Get your little paper out.
Kidding.
Excuse me, would you like to
not doing
form that in a? Would you please get your little thing out?
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Ernest.
Jeez.
I'm sorry, God.
Magic word.
Hey, get your thing out. Hey, get your pad out. Okay.
Feeling yourself right now.
What you got now?
Chuck, you go by.
Am I just writing down what you just said? No. I'm going to take it a step further. Okay. The Sacramento Kings are going to the conference finals. Okay.
So they're going to beat the Lakers.
They're going to beat the Lakers.
Yeah, okay.
First, they've got to beat Golden State. By the way, a couple of notes on Game 7s. There have been 145 of them. Home teams are 110 and 35. They win 76% of the time when they're at home. But the road team has won 4 of the last 6 Game 7s played over the last 2 years. Yeah. What does that got to do with anything?
It's just a stats.
It's a little stuff to throw out there. That it's not a lock when you're at home playing.
That was after Game 6, the great win.
It's a lot, Chuck.
I have always said this about that stat because it shows up every year if there's a Game 7, where it'll be home teams win, and now whatever Ernie said, 76% of the time. So now the official record is 110 and 36 for home teams in Game 7. The Kings are on the wrong side of that twice. 2 home Game 7 losses. They've helped the home team twice as well by being the road team and losing Game 7s. Those stats are, they could say 99.9% of the time, it doesn't matter if you're the one team that lost. And now the Kings have lost 2 Game 7s at home.
Sacramento Kings have never won a home game 7, correct?
Or a road game 7. 0 for 4.
Yeah.
But on the Barkley prediction, I mean, he was, I can't remember what he guaranteed to win a game 5. He said they're going to win the series after they won game 6, and he thought they beat the Lakers. I actually like that. I think they would have done very well against LA. Doesn't matter now, but I think they would have done well.
I think LA would have been an easier. I'm not guaranteeing they would
have been different. They would have different personnel would have been in. I actually think some of the guys that weren't having great. I think Herter would have had a good series. I think Monk would have, Fox would have. They might have played Holmes and Len a little bit with the size. It would have been different.
And the Lakers don't have anybody generational on their club that could have done anything crazy like Steph.
Well, they do have that. But
yeah,
we won't know.
We won't know.
Yeah.
I guess LeBron's okay. Sixers Celtics tonight. Joel Embiid is questionable. Yeah, that's going to hurt a little bit. No pun intended.
Yeah.
For the Sixers' chances.
I was believing in the Sixers' chances prior to the injury. I said, they've run into Boston. It's like that the team they face more than anybody. I think I saw that it's the most matchup in the playoff history of ever between those two teams have met a lot of times. Boston usually gets the right side of that.
Sure.
I felt like this might be the year for Philly, but without Embiid, that's going to be really tough.
Vegas certainly believes Joel Embiid will not play tonight. Boston is a 9-point favorite over the 76ers tonight.
Wow.
For this late in the playoffs, that's really incredible. Celtics didn't exactly destroy the Hawks. But you do wonder if, again, that kind of woke them up. We mentioned this earlier, but it was much earlier in case you're just joining us. One really interesting number about round 2 is this is the first time in playoff history, NBA playoff history, I would just venture to bet in any sports playoff history, there are 8 teams in the second round left. All 8 seeds are represented. And obviously what we mean is there's a number 1, there's a number 2, there's a number 3, 4, all the way down to number 8. All the teams remaining have completely different seeds, and no 2 of 1 is alike. It's actually the odds of that happening have to be ridiculously minuscule.
Yeah. And right now in the second round, the 1 seed and the 8 seed have a 1-0 series advantage.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
Suns, by the way, that Sixers Celtics game is at 4:30 tonight. Suns Nuggets. 7 o'clock. The Nuggets favored by just 4, so they're expecting the Suns to come back. Hey, listen, you don't get an extra win for blowing another team out of the water. Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic said that the Nuggets' best player is Jamal Murray. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. But I also like that. I know there were different times during the year for the Kings. Sabonis would say, well, Fox is our best player. And Fox would say, well, Sabonis is our best. Like, without ego, and maybe internally, maybe they're like, I'm the best player on this team. But what doesn't really matter. But I think that's a good thing to say publicly.
Jamal Murray averaged in the Minnesota series just over 27 points, 6.5 boards, 5.5 rebounds. He is now averaging 34 points, obviously just one game. And it's almost like going back to bubble Jamal, where he just went insane. Some people love the lights of the playoffs.
Right.
He loves the lights of the playoffs. Jason, if you did not have this as your job, would you be watching playoff basketball still?
Yeah, I'm too much of a fan of the sport. It will hurt to watch the Lakers Warriors. I got to admit. I mean, I don't know where I'm leaning, how I'll even. I don't even think I have a lean. It's just like I will watch that series, going, man, Kings would have done this with that sequence, or probably they fared better in this. Or then I'll go, wow, Looney only has 4 rebounds. What are the Lakers doing? Or whatever. There'll be parts of that you'll just be frustrated that the Kings aren't there. But yes, I will watch.
I got to be honest. I'm looking at the matchups, and I think perhaps the most, when talking about Warriors Lakers, here's a matchup I don't know which way it's going to go. When you go down the list, this might be the greatest matchup in NBA history of toxic fan bases. Like, who's coming out more toxic?
Yeah.
The Lakers or the Warriors? This is not historically, it's the Lakers. But the Warriors have been far more relevant over the last decade than the Lakers have, even though the Lakers do have a title in there. There's a lot of fans around the world of both teams, locally, a lot of bandwagon fans, a lot of new fans, a lot of young kid fans. This is just going to be an absolute bloodbath between these two fan bases on social media. I know you'll be tuned into that.
Yeah. I do have to admit, I did laugh at social media. I generally read all the stuff. I just don't partake in much, but I saw, and I can't remember who sent it. Someone from the Bay Area was talking about how surprising the loss was in Game 6.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I dive into the comments thinking, oh, what are Warrior fans going to say? The amount of things I saw, Dave, that blew me away, to be honest. I'm like, okay, I know social media people could say anything and anything they want. But it was like, you've seen our coach, right? Steve Kerr can't coach his way out. I'm like, wait, is this serious?
Clay is washed.
We're old. Guys, it's finally happened. We're done. Kings are going to win by 30.
They didn't show up.
I'm just going,
there's no heart.
Wow.
Yeah,
now, I know that's not the entire audience.
Of course.
But that audience, it is. And I was honestly surprised.
Maybe the right way to say this so good Warrior fans don't get offended. Because, again, our best friends are Warrior fans. Maybe I'm going to say this from now on. I have never seen a more toxic fan base than social media Warrior fans. Than Warrior fans on social media.
That's fair.
There we go.
Yeah.
I think that's the right verbiage.
You might be able to put that with any team and social media.
Oh, well, any team's social media fan base is going to be worse than they're at. That is for sure. It's all magnifies all the worst things about them. But my goodness gracious, gosh almighty. We'll take a break when we come back. News note, celebrity birthdays brought to you by Crumble Cookies. A little crosstalk with Kyle and Chris Watkins. We'll wait for those two words coming up right after this.
It's Cattles and Rami.
Hashtag blame Simone. She forgot to appropriately dress baby Yoda today.
She was too busy taking all the compliments.
Yeah, telling people how big of a deal she is.
Simone, like literally 3 women just walked up to Simone and like, oh, we listen to you guys every day. And then she's like, oh, but you're Simone though, right? And then Simone's like, oh yeah, that's Rami and Nick and that's Jay over there.
Yeah, you know, the guys. Cattles and Rami.
Yeah,
the Cattles and Rami show or whatever.
You're right.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Progressive Insurance protects people's cars, homes, and other vehicles. But if you've ever seen our commercials or even just heard our name, you probably already knew that. What you may not know is that we support Humble Design, a nonprofit that furnishes homes for families and veterans emerging from homelessness. Because a little help goes a long way. And a lot of help, well, you get the idea. Now, if you already knew all of this about Progressive Insurance, we're impressed. We'll have to find something else cool to tell you next time. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Brayden.
Monique's daycare is crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your sock slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Shh. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for free personalized arch support, fitting, and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Zone 1 report.
O'Reilly.
Get your vehicle ready for spring during Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Pro X1 exterior cleaning and detailing products provide professional results and show quality shine for your vehicle. Right now, pick up Pro X1 Snow Foam Car Wash 2 for just $15. See store for details. Pro X1 exclusively at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than freshly baked and home-delivered crumble cookies.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things.
And now,
here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
All right, spreading love and cheer all across the land. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, Jay Mars, Kyle Madsen.
Yeah, it's me.
Chris Watkins.
Hey-yo. Hi, guys.
I haven't talked to you yet, Chris. How are you?
I'm good. I know. I heard Kyle hopped on like at 8 o'clock this morning.
Kyle, I'm going to open the mic.
You told me to.
Actually, Kyle and I had a funny moment yesterday because after the show, I just tweeted out a picture of Andy Dufresne from Shawshank Redemption because I was alone in my man cave in the dark watching Shawshank, which strangely felt right after yesterday's game for many reasons. Kyle tweets at me and says, yeah, so never seen it. And I joked with him like, oh, what do you mean? You never seen Harry Potter? Like, I'm trying to joke back on his joke.
I haven't seen it either.
And then I realized he actually had... It's arguably the greatest movie ever made. And both of you wieners...
Citizen Kane, but okay.
Chris just said no.
I've seen Shawshank.
Hey.
I haven't seen any movies, and I've seen Shawshank.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Maybe I'll watch it tonight.
It's weird.
Sorry you didn't get the hat memo, Jason. I texted the group.
Come on, Jason.
I'm wearing a hat.
Oh, it's very small.
A couple of quick notes for you guys. How much has the Live Golf Tour changed the PGA Tour payouts? Last year, Scotty Scheffler set a PGA record with $14.1 million in prize money. This year, John Rahm set a new record in April at $14.4 million. Tiger Woods never once made more than $11 million in a year.
What a bum.
Yeah, what a bum. Also, I'd like to thank 103.5 The Blaze in Chico.
Chico.
See if you guys agree with this or not.
103.5 The Blaze.
The Blaze.
Commenting on yesterday's game.
To you? The radio station? Excellent.
Right. 105 on The Blaze in Chico.
Does that have a check mark?
The number one lesson / point to make. Your favorite team's performance is not a reflection on you personally. Unless you're a member of the team in some capacity, they're a separate entity of your life. Kings winning or losing should not affect how you live your life or if you're a good person. And I said, yeah, sadly it does. And they responded, in what way does it affect your real life? Please explain how you and I are personally responsible for the Kings' loss yesterday. I'd love to hear it.
Is this radio station a therapy
This is
account?
unbelievable. Is this a sports station?
I don't believe they
It's
are.
The Blaze.
It's The Blaze. 103.5 The Blaze. Yeah, I'm guessing it's like music.
Did you explain? It's therapy.
I haven't explained yet.
Okay.
Maybe I'll explain to them offline.
What's the point? What's the goal?
Of their goal?
What's their goal there?
Think
Why don't you explain to me? Like, obviously, we're suspend logic.
I think they're trying to be nice.
It's one person tweeting it, so it's some intern with the damn.
Definitely, dude.
100%. I can confirm.
That the person tweeting that does not wear shoes.
Or they're actual. Might they be logged into the wrong account and just forgetting?
Nope, I'm just going with his theory because I agree with it.
Shoes.
Maybe they type with their toes.
And also, only you would fight with a Chico radio station on Twitter.
I'm not fighting.
I'm ready. Let's have a few.
Do we got
man? Yeah.
Come on, Blaze. What you got?
Blazer.
Celebrity birthdays.
Already?
They should go the way of the Bakersfield Blaze, in my opinion.
That's a minor league team, right?
They were a minor league.
They're not
team.
around anymore.
Do you ever have any memorabilia of theirs?
No,
I have a Bakersfield Blaze hat.
How many hats do you have?
Well over 100.
200?
Less than 200.
Okay.
Fewer than 200.
How do you store them?
In my closet?
No, but I mean, do you have like?
There's this like
you have a rack that says Kyle on it.
Yeah, no, there's a shelf above my closet, and they all just go up there, and I sort them by.
You gotta stack them.
And do you keep them do you have the little hat cleaner?
No, I'm not that.
But you can see all 100 at one time, or is there like 7 stacked in one thing?
Oh no, I can see them all. At least all the fitteds. The snapbacks are in various different places because I'm running out of room.
I was gonna say I worked at Lids for a while. The hat cleaner is a myth.
It's such a joke.
It's
what about the hat? There's a hat stretcher that can make smaller.
That works.
That one works.
Really?
Yes, that's a game changer.
Okay.
But the cleaner definitely a myth.
Real quick, I'm sorry.
Soap and water.
What celebrating days today? This is not a great one. I don't know which one to pick. Today is Melanoma Monday. I'm not lying.
Wow.
That's literally the first one. National Loyalty Day, Law Day, Global Love Day.
I like that one.
Global Love Day. Shout out Kevin.
National
Globes.
National Mother Goose Day. Do we go with National Mother Goose Day or Global Love Day?
Global Love.
Global Love for
Global
sure.
Love. So we got Kevin. We have Jordan.
Oh, that's a good one.
We have Me Tender.
Actually,
Davis.
The third.
That's a good one. Yeah, nice. Also the second and the first.
Yep. There's 3 of them.
Great point.
All the Davises.
Wait, if we go Davis Love the third, Jordan Love, Kevin Love, there's got to be a fourth Athletic Love.
Denzel Valentine.
Nice. Hey. Good job. Good pull.
Yeah. Okay.
Valentine's Spanish for love.
Oh.
Josh Hart.
Josh Hart.
Good one.
No, that's very good. That's very strong.
Really good. All right, celebrity birthdays. I got. Or we want to sit here and think.
I'm thinking.
I'm thinking too. I'm trying to.
I'm not done.
I'm going to drive us somewhere here.
I'm still trying to think of Fields. So. Fair conversation that didn't involve you.
By design.
Fields?
Justin.
Famous Fields. Oh, Justin's a good one.
Justin misses of Dreams.
Oh, Dreams is good.
And Sally.
Okay.
Okay.
Fields. What was your guys'?
Wrigley.
Yeah.
Fenway.
Lambeau. I don't know.
Fenway's a park.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not a field.
Yeah, it's not.
There's a field in the park.
So is Chan-Ho.
Yeah.
Oh, Chan-Ho. Oh, famous parks.
Yeah.
Good job.
And recreation.
Rosa and Chan-Ho.
Right.
Hey.
Excellent.
Detective season 6.
Celebrity birthdays, please.
Yeah,
I told you it's not a great batch, but we're going to do it. We're going to celebrate those people that were born on May 1st.
Yay!
May the 1st be with you, everybody.
Oh, God. Guys, WC Fields from the text line? That's actually...
Who's W.C. Fields?
Wrigley Comiskey Field.
Winston Churchill?
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Celebrity birthdays.
Tim McGraw. Happy birthday, Tim
Ah,
McGraw.
Tim.
Of Friday Night Lights fame.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also a country singer.
Yeah.
Part-time.
Tim McGraw, whose father was?
Tug McGraw.
Right.
Phillies legend,
Phillies
R.I.P.
legend, Tug McGraw. Tim McGraw is, 59.
Is he a Northern California guy?
Don't think so.
Sure. Sacramento.
For sure. Yeah, he's from
Greater
Oakley.
He's a Greater Sacramento area.
Yeah.
Chico worked at the Blaze.
He did.
He's actually tweeting. That's his account.
Chris, you said
I
57?
said 57.
I'll go 59.
I said 59.
I'll go 60.
I think Tim McGraw is 58.
Oh.
Wow, we're all right.
56.
Wow.
Christopher.
He was like weirdly
country
yoked too. Like Tim McGraw is like a workout freak.
Yeah.
Didn't used to be.
Same.
All
right, let's go to Ray Parker Jr. Ghostbusters theme. And others.
What was his other song?
He had
I'm thinking of Rockwell.
He had
I'm in love with the other woman, I think.
He also had hits when he had his band Radio.
Yeah.
Okay. Ray Parker Jr. is old. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's 72.
Sure, I'm going to anchor to that and go, I think he's the big 7-0 today.
He's 75.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I'll say 73.
Nice. 69.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday, Ray Parker Jr.
Who are you going to call? All right, Wes Welker.
Oh. Is he a 49ers assistant now?
No, he's in Houston now.
Houston?
No.
Where
Houston?
is he?
I think he's in Houston now.
Didn't he go to
Was in
D'Amico?
Houston?
Where did he get there before D'Amico?
Oh, Miami might be right.
Yeah.
He left last year. It wasn't last year.
Wes Welker is 42.
Yeah, because you Googled it.
So
Been saying this for years. He does this.
You win every one of these.
Yeah,
How
but
is
then
it
you have your
eye-moving?
random spurts where you get every one right.
out of 80.
Like Friday, you guys were on fire.
Thank
44.
you. The gaslighting
42,
is gaslighter ever to gas.
40. I'll say 40.
40-40?
Yeah, he's
40,
40.
42, 44. We have a correct answer.
He's 40.
We have a correct answer. Mr. Google, 42.
Told you.
Right here.
Wow.
Right
All
there,
right.
Put your
pal.
beam down.
I think this one you guys are going to get right on. Chet Holmgren.
Still the stupidest first name
What's
for a
his
Gen
name?
Zer.
Chat.
It's got to be 20. He's got to be 20.
I think he's actually 21 today.
Was he 2 years at Gonzaga?
One.
Then he's 20
but
today.
he started. He was a freshman at 19 because he got held back in his junior year. And
Wow, you know a lot about Chet Holmgren.
I do.
He failed biology.
His grandfather Mike was not happy with his score, so he held him back.
I'm going to say 20 as well.
Right, he's 21.
We have 2 20s and a 21.
He's 20.
3 20s and a 21.
Yeah,
There's an
yeah,
outlier,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he's 21.
Wow.
Oh my
Wow.
God! In all of your faces.
Wow.
Because you googled it.
Yes.
You
Yes.
googled it.
Happy
100%.
birthday to Hall of Fame running back Curtis Martin. He's my favorite.
Oh.
Lawrence is mine.
Short. Dean.
Yeah.
You guys watch Only Murders in the Building?
Yes,
Hey,
fantastic.
Ages.
Great show. Really great show.
Really good show.
Curtis Martin is 46.
Curtis Martin's 52.
Curtis
Yeah.
Martin's 47.
Curtis Martin's old as heck. I think Curtis Martin's like 54.
How old is heck?
He is 50.
Whoa.
I don't even know who had it.
I don't either.
Last one, former King, former Warrior, kind of fitting today. Billy Owens.
Oh, Billy.
Oh, B.O.
Oh, B.O. Let's see. Billy Owens is 54.
53.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to hang right in that range. I'm going to go 52.
I'm going to say 56.
We have a correct answer.
Oh, he's old.
We have a correct answer. 54.
Wow.
He Googled it.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
he must have Googled it.
Yeah.
You got accused of Googling and then got 3 in a row.
What's coming up on the show today, guys? I'm going to guess
Walk-off win for the A's?
Hashtag blame Simone. She forgot to appropriately dress baby Yoda today.
She was too busy taking all the compliments.
Yeah, telling people how big of a deal she is.